The phase we are in right now, right, is the phase where we now need to start designing our mobile app. You've done what's it called? You've done your wireframing yesterday. We still have some parts to do, like the home page, setting screens, all of those parts in wireframing. But after wireframing, right, the next thing is once you know the elements to include in your wireframe, you've actually gotten everything that you can think of. Now, we'll be looking at the different things that we use in product design. So, unlike graphics, right? For graphics, we know the elements that we use. Some of those elements we also use them in product design. Well, in product design, we have like more elements that we use, and one of it is these are the elements that we use in product design. We use layout grid, typography, colors. I know that these ones are not new to you. Gradients, shadows, button, forms, icons, photos, illustration, cards. We have cards. We have cards, right? We have a white space, personality, languages, navigation, micro interactions. All of these things are things that we use to make our designs better. So we'll just go straight to layout grid, right? Sorry guys, just give me 1 minute. Okay, so what are grids, right? Grids are a set of horizontal and vertical lines that we use on our screen to divide our screen into rows and columns. So remember I've been talking about how your work should be always aligned, right? I've been saying it in class, your work should be always aligned. Sometimes you need to ensure that your work is aligned. So let me open my Figma so that we'll talk about grid. After explaining grid, we'll learn how to do the grid system. So a grid is very important because it will make you to know the spaces that you're giving for each element. So let's say for instance you're using the 8 pixel grid, you'll be able to know and that everything on your work is 8 pixel. Everything is 8 pixel. If you're using 6 pixel, you will still know that everything you're doing is 6 pixel. So grid is actually very important in UI. Now in grids, right, we have different things we look at. We have the column, right? We have column. Column is the vertical section of a grid. The vertical section is column, and we mostly have the highest is 12. And then we have rows. We have rows. Rows is the horizontal part of a grid. We rarely use it, right? I don't think I've done a row grid before, and the reason is because I rarely use it. But it's not like it's totally useless. It's not like it's totally useless. You still use it for what you want to use it for. And then we have the gutters. The gutters are like the empty spaces that divides your rows and columns. The smaller the gutter, one thing you need to know that if your gutter is small, right, the tighter your content will be on the screen. And then we have the margin. The gutters are these lines you can see here, these smaller lines. And then the margins are the outside space of the gutter. If you go to any websites, let's go to which website? Fluid. There's a website I'm looking for. Okay, let's go to this particular website, right? Travel Tour, TripAdvisor. You can see this empty space. If you go to almost all the websites, you'll always see an empty space here. Now, this empty space that you can see there is what we call the margin. And then we have the modules. The modules are like the areas in which the column and the rows intercepts. That's called a module. This is a module, this is a module, this is a module, and all. So is there any question?
Please take the
No question. Good question.
All right, so if there's no question, right? I know
I
that
want to ask
you
a
would see.
question.
Okay, sure, Fab.
Yeah, so like for that model, I'm trying to picture it in my head like I'm trying to picture like a website in my head that would have where the column and the what's it called, the row will be intersecting. I don't know if we
Oh,
can
okay.
see an
So
example.
the truth is you cannot have a picture in your head where it intercepts. The only thing that you can visibly see on any website is the margin. The other one should use it
Oh,
for arrangement. So when we get to
oh,
Figma, I'll show us how to set grid, and then you see how to use it, right?
okay, thank you.
Right.
Ma,
So
please,
let's
question.
okay on the chat if I can send this.
Ma, I have a
Hello.
question.
Oh, sure, you can ask.
Okay. For instance, you are building a website. Is there
Yeah.
a fixed number of rows or columns that you are meant to use, or you can just use any number?
All right. So when I open Figma, right, you will get to see how, or we'll get to see it. So there are set numbers that we use for each screen.
Okay.
Yeah.
Please, man, can you send us the slide?
It's a book. I'll send it.
Yeah.
Did you hear me? I said I'll send it. It's a book. I'll send it after this class.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. All right. Now for the grid, right, I'm going to bring three different frames. Sorry. I'm going to bring three different frames. The first one would be my food frame, right? Now the second one I'm going to bring is my one for tablet. So I'll just look for a tablet, maybe iPad Pro, and then I'll look for another one that's frame, that's for websites. So I'll bring in my website frame. So you can see that we have three different frames here on this particular sheet, on this particular Canva. We have three different frames. Now for us to start setting grids. Okay, before we set grids, right, we need to know why grid is very important for us as product designers. One is that it gives us clarity. You actually you structure your designs that you know that all elements are going to be aligned in your design. The next one is that it makes the digital product easier to use. Most persons will be it will make it very easy for people to use your platform because everything like if you look at if you say let's say my what's it called, my I'm trying to look for the right word. So if you look at where some person's primary text is, like their bold text, and you go to where the secondary text is, you would see equal spaces amongst all. So that's one thing it will help you do. It will help it easier for people to use your platform. The next one is grid is going to make collaboration easier. So let's say you're designing with five different people, or you have five different people using doing the same work with you, especially when you get your capstone project and you guys are five and five of you are supposed to be designing different things. If I check with UX, UI, UX elements, right? If I check your work fab, right, it will still be the same with the next person's work. You'll all be on the same screen working. The spacing will be the same. There will be consistency. That it will be very hard to be able to figure out who designed this and who did not design this. Grid is going to make that happen. That everywhere you place your elements, as far as there's a grid system, and everybody understands the grid system, it will be easy to see where to add things. And then grid makes your work responsive. If you know how to use your grid system very well, you can be able to make your work responsive at every time. Now we have different types of grid system, right? We have the fluid system. Now the fluid grid system is that grid that will change your screen based on the width. So now take for instance, um you include this grid, right? Once you start increasing this, the column will change based on the width. So Fab, can you okay, I see Fab, sorry. Can you guys just picture this, right? I have this small screen. Once I start expanding it, you can see that this is the column, right? The column is expanding here. And for our designs, we mostly use our grid system to design things like this, to expand things on designs. And then when we talk about the fixed, so this is fluid. Just take it in your head that oh, just take it in your head that a fluid grid type is that type of grid that your column will change based on your screen size. So if your screen is expanding, your column will expand. But did you notice something, that your margin and your gutter, they are still the same, but your column is what will change. And then for the next one, the fixed is that the column will be fixed while the margin will change. So we use this particular type of grid system, right? This one, to actually design for login screen. I don't know if you've gone to some websites, you'd see something like this, where this is a login for mobile. When it comes to web, everything takes the center. This is for fixed grid system. This is a this to this fixed grid system. So basically that's all you need to know about the grid system. Is there any question before we start setting the grid? Guys, please ask question. I don't want to hear that if we did not understand this. Let's trash it before we move further.
Ma, I'm not really understand the whole process.
You don't understand the whole process. I don't get.
Like the grid you are explaining, the row, the column, and I've not really understand it.
Which column is the horizontal box in a grid system? Okay, so let's do the practical. Maybe you understand it then. So now let's take for instance, this is a mobile screen, right? How do you set grid system for your designs? First one is, if you check to this right hand part of our screen, you'd see a layout grid here. The first one is auto layout, the second one is layout grid. So what you do is a layout grid, you see this plus button here. Can you see this plus button? Guys, please let's do this together so that we don't get to start asking where did you get the grid, how did you turn it on? So you can see this plus button here. You just need to
Yes.
click on the plus button. Once you click on the plus button, you would see that you have a grid system already. Now you come to this dot, right? This place where you have grid systems, layout grid setting. You click on it. Once you click on it, remember that I said we have different types of grid. We have the column and the rows. Now the first grid is the one that you have both the columns and the rows together. Look at it. Columns and rows together, and there's no need to set it. The second one is the column. So it's the column that we use mostly for work. So if I click on the column, I would have all of these settings. Now, this is where you now get to, remember we said we have two types of grid, fixed and the stretched. So you can see the fixed, the right, the center, and the stretched. If you see the center, if you click on center, is this not what we have here? Is this not what we have here?
Yes.
So what type of grid system is this now? What type of grid system is this?
Fixed.
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 Yes, fixed. So, but then the most important one, right, that you would always use for the column is the stretched. The stretched is the one that if you start increasing this thing, right, you can see. And this is what we call the fluid type of grid. Are we together? What did you say
Yes.
about the fluid grid?
Now it expands whenever you increase it.
Guys, what did you say about the fluid grid?
It expands.
Yes,
Based on
the column expands while the other ones, while the gutter, they are still together. So let's change it to the main one, the stretched, right? And now this is how you set every other thing. What is this white line in the middle? What is it called?
gutter.
The gutter.
The gutter. Yes. So can you see the gutter here? It's 20. And then you can set it to 30. As you set it to 30, did you see that it expanded? But it is advisable that your gutter is always 20. That's the gutter. The things we're talking about. This is the gutter. Then what is this other line here?
The row.
No. Let me take. This is the gutter. Then the next one is the column itself.
Okay, the column.
The column, remember the column is the horizontal part of your grid. The column is the horizontal part of your grid. This is your gutter. The white one is your gutter. This one is your column. Now, remember that the next one is the margin. And I showed you a website. So every website, you have margins like this. Any website you are designing, you have margins. So your margins should be around 100. No, okay. Now, this is where it is. For mobile, right? Your column count, this is your column count, should always be 6. And your margin should be 20. That is for mobile apps. Your margin should be, your count, that's your column, should be 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Your margin should be 20 and your gutter should be around 22. Are we following?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So, is there any confusion? Please ask. Don't be shy. Ask. All right. So we are following. That is for mobile. Now, if you want to do for tablets, right? The same pattern. I'll come here, click on this, come to layout grid, click on my plus, come to the settings, and I'll change this from columns to rows. Sorry, from grids to column. Then for your tablets, right? Mobile is 6. Your count should be 6. For your tablet, your count should be 8.
I didn't get that, ma'am.
I said for mobile, right? Our count is how many? 6.
Yes.
Your
6,
count
yeah.
should always be 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Your column should be 20. So your margin should be 20 and your gutter should be 20.
20.
Yeah.
20.
For iPad, if you're designing for iPad, your column should be 8. Your margin can be 40. And then your gutter can still be 20. Your margin too can still be 20. So this doesn't really matter. You know what we would use this margin to do, right? Everything we are designing will take this, we start from here and end here. So this margin will be like our white space, our empty space. So for this, right, you can always change the margin to be 10, depending on the number of space that you want. So you can change your margin to be 42 and your gutter will still be the same. For your gutter, what your gutter will help you do is, let's say for instance, I want to draw a rectangle. This first rectangle, after drawing it here, you can see that it took from here to here. Now this same rectangle, right? I want to divide it into two and I want it to be equal. And I'll just do it like this. Take this is the first one, and then the second one, and this is the second one. You know what I'm trying to tell myself? I'm telling myself that the space between this and this is 20. You get? If I want to divide this into three, I'll still do the same thing. This should be like the first one. This should be the first one. No, okay. I think this should be the first one. And then if I duplicate, this will be the second one. If I duplicate, this cannot be the third one, though. So that means I have to reduce this a bit. I have to reduce this. So I'm trying to divide this equally. You can see how dividing it equally is. Okay. This cannot divide equally, though. But then there's something that is stated there that is very evident. The space between this is 20. The space between this and this and this, they are all 20, right? Because of our gutter. So you see how you use layout grid. So let me turn this. You can see this ID and I can just close it. You can see that the spaces here are equal. That's for the column that we've set, right? The space between these, the space between these, the space between these, are they all equal?
Yes, they are equal.
For the column, just the column, right? You can see that the margin, they are not equal, but we can make the margin equal. The rows, sorry. The rows are not equal, but we can make it equal. You can see that the rows are, this is 22. The space between this is 22. The space between this is 22. While the space between this and this 16. You can see how you can easily divide your screen using grid system. So this is for tablets, right? And then if you're designing for, remember the count. The count for mobile is 6. The count for tablet is 8. So who can guess the count for website?
10.
10.
No, the count for website is always 12.
12, okay.
12. And then your margin, because of this space, you would always see here. Do you think this is going to be 20? This space like this, is it 20? No, it cannot be 20. So for me, I mostly use 100. I will mostly use 100 as my margin.
Buma, good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Please, I want to ask the count, all these counts, is there a book or is there maybe a material that someone can get that have all these details compiled together? Is it possible?
So you can, I think you can see some of the materials online, right? But this particular this thing I'm using doesn't really have well, how will I put it? Don't those numbers. But you can see here that they tell you that the best this thing to use for web is mostly 12. You can see we have 12, we have 6, we have 4, 3, 2, 1, depending. But the best for tablet is 8, the best for website is 12, and the best for mobile is 6. So you see that my margin is, if you notice something, right, my gutter is always fixed to 20. And that's because I want the spacings between them to be 20. If I say I want the space to be 24, I've changed it to 24. Every space here, anything I do here, I know that I have 24 lines equally on all of them. So this is now how to design. If you're now starting your design, You see that thing that I say, everybody, you need to align your work. Now, guys, for those of you that have rulers turned on, I showed you how to turn on rulers. You can come to this part and go to view. Once you come to view, you now turn on your rulers. Now, this is what I do with my rulers after turning it on. I can now drag my ruler to this part and place it here. I'll drag the second ruler to the end part also and place it. You can see that I have this. Okay, so if I zoom in, I'll bring it to ensure that it's on the edge, the starting of this. Yes, this is here. And this one too, I'll zoom in to ensure that it's starting from this. So after this, I'll come to this place and I'll turn off my grid. You can see this eye. I'll just close the eye. The reason why I won't do this minus, if I do minus, it will completely take out the grid. So I just want to hide it. So I will hide it. And then my design for anything I'm doing, even my buttons will start from here. My button will start from here and end here. My form input will start from here and end here. You can see. So if I make this, if I say this is 20, for instance, and I come here and I say buttons, or I come here and I say sign up, for instance, my sign up is 16, and this is bold or semi bold, and I keep it like this, and I group it. This is my button for anything I'm doing. You can see that it's so if I want to do form, just the way we did login form screen yesterday, my form will still take this same approach. My rectangle will take this, it will take from here to here. And you can see I just need to turn off the color like we did and add a stroke and maybe reduce the stroke to like 30, and we have our form inputs here. Can we see it? And let's say I add 10 to this one and I add 10. Can you see the work of a grid system now? It just helps your work to be aligned, or it just helps your work to take a neat form. So this is just what you can use grid system for. Now we've done what's it called? We did grid for rows, for columns, right? Let me turn this back. Let me turn this on back. Now, how do you turn on your row grid? Now we have 16. This is 16, right? This is 20. How do we turn on our rows? So we still for rows, for us to turn on rows, right? We need to add another grid. You see it plus. I'll add the plus again. And then I'll come to this grid and I'll change it from columns to rows. After changing it to rows, same thing. So for rows, you can give it this is 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So for rows, it's depending on what you want. Depending on what you want. So I've included 12 for this because I want to divide my screen into 12. Am I fast? Guys, am I too fast?
Yes.
No.
Okay. So where did you understand last so that I'll take it back? Hello?
Anyway, to me, Buma, I think maybe when we watch the recorded video, they will be able to concentrate, then practice. Because the honest truth, if you're not practicing, you might get lost, you know.
So that's why it's a virtual class. You're supposed to be with your laptop currently. That's the truth. You're supposed to be with your laptop. And
My laptop, and I'm listening through my laptop because I have to be see my screen. So if I'm practicing when you were talking, I will lose concentration, honestly.
Okay, yeah, I get. So,
That's the honest truth.
Excuse me, ma.
all right.
Ma, please, what's the number for website margin and gutter?
For website, I said the number is 12 for the count. All right, so this is what is going to happen, right? I'm going to start this grid system all over again. Please, this time around, just pay attention. Let's all pay attention. So I'll go back to picking my frames.
Sorry, before you go back, I just wanted to ask live. So what is that decision that basically informs we using this lead system? Maybe we want to design an app, or so what's informed decision?
All
What
right,
is that
so
informed?
if you want to design, right? Remember how we did? Okay, let me check. This is what we did yesterday. Do you know that
Yes.
there is no arranged form to this? The only thing I know is because I was using this to show that this is centralized, but I don't. If they ask me
For
what's
bar alignment, right?
yes, so if you ask me what's the grid system that you use, you know that developers today used to set that. What grid system did you use for design? I wouldn't know. But if I set it, I'll be able to tell you the spaces between each of them. And that will also help developers not to do nonsense in your design. You can see this,
Okay, I
there's
get.
no, yeah, there's, so setting your grid system gives you informed decision on what you're doing. Now for grid, like I said, we have two types of grid. We have the fluid grid and the fixed grid. For the fluid grid, right, is the one that your column would change based on your screen size. And I told us that the column is that horizontal part of your grid. This is a column. A column is the horizontal part of your grid. This pink element you can see. Then for web, most web designs use 12 columns. You can see it, that web is 12. Then a row is the horizontal, sorry, this is the vertical part of a grid. That's what a column is called. The row is the horizontal part of a grid. Why this is column vertical, row horizontal. And then we have gutter. The gutter are the empty spaces that divide the columns and the rows. Now, these are your columns, right? We said these are your columns, this big one. The gutters are these small elements. And once you set your grid system, you would see it. So for me, I use the gutter to know the space between items. If I have cards, we are getting to cards, right? When we get to card system, you would understand that for cards, I can have two cards on a particular screen and they would have equal spacing to it. I can have three cards and I know that all the spacing in them is 16 or it's 12, anything I try to set. And then the margin is that space that is outside of your column. This empty space here, on every website, if you go to any website, you will always see this empty space that nobody writes anything here. Except for Jumia. If you go to any website, if you decide that now you want to go to what kind of website will you go to? Your wall. If you say you want to go to your wall website, you can still see it, the empty space. Every design or anything they are designing is taking these other ones and is leaving this empty space. And this empty space is what we call the column. Now, this is the gutter. The gutter is this space, this tiny space in between. I'm looking for the place where, if you notice the space between this and this, I don't know if it's 16 that they use here, but if you come to this part, you can still see that the space here is still equal with the space here. Can you see how it's helping us for consistency? Guys, can we see?
Yes.
So you now know how useful this is. Now look at this space, right? Look at this. Can you still see that the space between this is equal, the space between this is equal, the space between this is equal? So that's what a grid system will help you do. The gutter is that tiny space in between your rows and your columns. All right. So now that we are done with this, then we said for the a module is that intersection between a row and a column. So this is a row, this is a column. These are modules. These are modules. Modules. These pink items are modules. Module 1, module 2, module 3. But you really don't need this. Now, the one I want you to pay attention to is if you want to do a grid system for a web, we'll start with phone, right? I pick up my phone frame, anyone I decide to pick. Now, for me to do the alignment, it is advisable that it is standard, right? That once I click on this plus to add a grid system, I'll come here and this is column. I choose column, and the column count should be 6 because it's mobile. Your margin should be 20. Your gutter should be 20, except you want to increase it yourself. But this is the standard for mobile. Now, if I go back to frame and I go to iPad, that's tablets, and I choose iPod 11, for instance, and I want to set my grid for this should be 8. So if I turn on grid system, I will make it 8. Still the column, right? We are talking about column, right? Now. And I'll make this 8 instead of 6. And I'll make my margin depending on how much space I want to have outside. So let's say I want 40, I'll put the 40. And my gutter would still be 20. And then if I want to design, remember that you have to design for all screens when you're designing. If you're designing for websites, you have to design the mobile view of it. And then I say I'm going to desktop. And under desktop, I choose 1440. For desktop now, what I'll do is for my column grid, I'll still set it. But this time around, the column grid will be 12. And then my margin, because it's a website and the margin you used to see there, this cannot be 20. My margin will now be 100. But my column, my gutter will still remain the same. So anything I'm designing, this space, I won't put anything here. I won't put anything here. I will always start from here. But there are some designs that you can bring in something from here, right? Even in graphic designs, there are some designs that you want to bring in like a car to this place and the car will start from here. That is understandable. But ensure that anything you are doing, even your text takes this line. Everything should be straight. So if you start designing and I start seeing you start your text here, the next thing you're starting the next text somewhere here, it will be easy to trace that your work is not aligned. Have we gotten it now?
Yeah, that's fine, buddy.
All right, so I want response from everybody.
Yes, yes. Just that grid is basically for alignment.
Yes. All right. Now, if you want to do for column, for rows, what we did is for column, right? For rows, you still click on this plus. Click on this plus. You now know how to add grid. So any grid you want to add, just know that you click on the plus and you still change it to be rows now. For the rows, I'll make the count to be 12. And how many margin? Remember that our margin for this is 20. So I'll still keep our margin to be 20. So that means for anything I'm designing, let's say for instance, I want to design this box and I start from here. I would know the size of this. And let's say I put my text here and I want to put the next text here. I would start from here. And I know that everything I'm doing has 20 pixels. Now, if I decide that, okay, I want to divide this into 2, right? Based on what I want to do. And I divide it into 2. If there's anything you would see when I close this thing, like when I turn it off, you would see that the space between this and this is equal. The space between this and this is equal. View it in. Okay, so I think there's let me see. Let me turn this on.
So sorry, if I just get it correctly, so the mobile, so the column is 16 and wide away is 12, right?
Yes. So now this is what
And
you can
this
see.
is 20, right?
Yes, so now I have both
Okay.
row and column, right? Yeah. So let me change the color of one, please, so that I would know which one is which. So you just need to click on color and change it to 20. That is here. So I will know which one is which. So this is our role. This is our role column, and this is our margin column. So you can use this to arrange your work very well. So you can see this is arranged where. So I can see this, and then I'll bring this down here. I'm not designing anything, right? I'm just showing you how you can know the alignment of your work. Can you see that the space between this and the space between this, they are all equal? If I come here and put my mouse, you see that this is 20. If I put my mouse here, you see that this is 20. So for anything I'm designing, I know that I have 20 top and bottom. Guys, if we continue at this pace, right, we won't do anything. I've done this thing twice and I'm still getting please come again. Do I need to come again on it? Hello, should I repeat this?
Continue, ma.
Let's just continue. Maybe we'll get
Do alignment.
the recording.
I did not do anything. Yeah, I just showed you how you can use grid to align your work, and I've showed you how to set grid. You just need to click on the plus and make sure that for mobile your count is 6. For tablet your count is 8. For website your count is 12. For your rows grid, you can just set the column and the other ones that you put.
Sorry, I understand the grid, I understand everything, but how do we get the lines? Like, you showed the line the other time that line stuff.
How did I show which line?
Like, where do you go to? Like, the lines, like, you
These
said you
ones
want
here.
to.
This.
No, like, the line, you said you should. You
You
showed
mean
the
the
line.
ruler, the ruler.
Roll that, Joe. Yeah, thanks.
You can just turn it on from here. Go to view and you see rulers. Just turn it on. Once you turn it on, you have it. But for this now, I did not even use ruler. It is just my grid that I use. So
Yes,
after you turn on your grid, you can use what's it called, your ruler, to just the way you design on Photoshop, right? Just the way you design on Photoshop, you can do all of that. So that's it for grid. That's it for grid system. All right, so the next thing we'll be talking about, right, is typography, fonts. I guess that we've all done this in what's it called, in graphic design. Did we do this?
Yeah, we did it. We did
Yes,
it.
Okay. So what is text? Text is just typography is just what you used to write, right? What you used to write for people to be able to read and all of that. And one thing we do in product or in UI UX design is that everything we are doing, we ensure that things that are on our platform, people can read it. That's the whole essence of this. So typography is the act and technique of arranging types to make any language you speak legible, readable, and appealing to people. So what's the difference between a font and a typeface? A font is just that singular typeface or that singular element. Let's say, for instance, a font can be bold, it can be italic, and it can be thin, right? That's a font. It's a specific style existing in a typeface. Then a typeface is a collection of fonts. Now for typefaces, we have things like sorry guys, I just remembered something. Um for typefaces, we have things like what? Roboto, Pumping, uh Times New Romance, all of those typefaces, yes, all of those fonts that you can use for your design. That's what a typeface is. Now, how what are the structure? You know that this is always called your cap height. This is your baseline. This is your ascender and this is your descender. So as a UI designer, right, you don't need to create fonts. You just need to select a font that is good. And how do you select fonts? Remember that we have three types of fonts. We have the sans serif, we have the serif, and we have the scripted fonts. For the types and sans serif, right, they told us that the sans serifs are like the common types of fonts. They are good for professional designs. If you want to design things that are professional, you use it. Then for serif, you use it for things like blogs, articles, and all of that. And the scripted fonts are like those fancy fonts. When in graphic design, they'll tell you that you always use your sans serif or your serif. You use your scripted fonts for ceremonies. Let's say you want to type something like happy birthday, while your happy can be sans serif, your birthday can be script or either of them, but you use those script font for decoration, not for something that people need to read. So even in design, you have to pick a font that is readable. This is a serif font and this is a sans serif font, but you can see which one is readable. The one that is readable is the sans serif. So it's important that you choose fonts that are good. Now pick a scalable
So,
font.
sorry, please, before you go. So, what's the recommended typeface you recommend for a mobile?
What?
Like a recommended typeface you recommend for if you are doing a mobile application.
So whether you're designing a mobile app, right, or you're designing a website, there are some fonts that I'm going to most the font I use regularly to design. I use Inter, I use Pumping, I use Roboto, I use Roboto, yes. So you can also make your research online and you'd see different types of fonts that you can use. So I'm looking for something. I pray I see it. Okay, so I think this is it. UI. You see, this is what we are doing, right? All right, so Pumping, Roboto, Inter, these are fonts that I use on a regular base to design. Now, one thing you need to do when you're picking fonts, right? It's advisable in design. I wouldn't tell you to use more than two fonts. Even in graphics, they'll tell you that using more than two fonts is not nice. So even in product design, I don't think I've mixed fonts before. I just pick one with a lot of weights and use it. So for instance, for instance, for pumping, right? I have bold, regular, medium, all of the weights that I want. So I can use just that one font for all my designs. So pick a font that has at least 5 to 4 weights that you can use. Then pick a font that represents your brand, depending on what you're doing. If you're designing for kids, right, you have to use a font that is somehow playful that they can still read it. So choose all of those things. Those things are important. Then how many typeface should you use? I've said it. One typeface is best to use for your designs. So how do you design or how the size of fonts that you use, right? So one of the things I tell people is that I can't come and tell you that for all your designs you should use font size 16. There is no one way best fits all method. I would not say, I won't say because you're a designer, right? Um you should use this to do this, or you should use this size. So this is what I do. That's one reason why I like playing my design. So is there anybody that has Figma Miro on your phone? Is there anyone that has Figma Miro? Okay, so if we don't have Figma Miro, right? Figma
When you say
Miro,
I
Figma
have
Miro.
Miro. I only have Miro, not Figma.
You have what?
I have Miro, but I don't have Figma Miro.
Okay, let me get the name from Play Store so that everybody will go and install it now. Please go and sorry, it's Figma. Go and install Figma Miro. Not Sigma, Figma. That was a mistake. Autocorrect. Can you just leave me to type Figma? Is this how autocorrect is doing here?
Hello, sir. I don't know. What does this thing looks like? The logo looks like.
The logo is Figma logo.
Yeah, because I saw one on your Figma prototype mirror share.
No. It's Figma Miro. Let me screenshot it and send it to you people.
Yeah, there's uh, I think someone is raising up his hand. I think the
Yeah, you
admin or
can
something.
you can unmute. Alright, design you can take over.
Hello, it's actually Michael. Can you guys hear me? Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Michael.
Good morning,
Yes.
everyone. All right, I just have a quick announcement. Okay, so unfortunately, um I won't be available for the feedback section for our portfolio, right? Just thinking about it now, even before speaking, I think we said 12. Boma, did we agree on 12 or 2?
We agreed on 12.
Two.
No, 12 because I was going to join.
So I actually have a meeting by 12
Okay, so
to
I think you
join.
can carry on by 2 if
If
you're
you can
free.
do by 2, yeah. Sorry, what did you say?
I said I think you can carry on by 2, right? If
Oh,
you're free by 2. But I
yeah,
might not join to the end because I also need
long
to
should be
get back to work.
If it's a 1 hour meeting and it won't require me to do any serious task immediately after, probably by 1. If it's gonna end by 1, I'll just join by 1. But if it's gonna end by past 1, I'll just rather join by 2. So I'm just letting you guys know it's up so that you guys do not like expect me by 12. So from 12 I won't be available, but let's say from 1, 2 o'clock I should be available. So we can have our portfolio review and also review our work so far on product design as well. All right. I think that. And secondly, I dropped a message on the group chat. I don't know if you guys saw it. So if you guys have, if you know, let me put it this way. If you know that your designs are very good, like because I've not really seen it. That was the whole idea of wanting to review you guys' portfolio so that I can know designs that are good to go in case we have gigs like this that just came in. Just imagine that I don't even ask for you guys' portfolio, like told you guys to design portfolios. Imagine this gig just came up now. all of a sudden. And that's why I wanted to review you guys' work, because as I stand right now, I don't know who I can say, oh yeah, this person is a great designer now, or this person knows how to design. I don't know that till now, and that's not really right. So that's why I wanted to have that review so that I can know the people that are good to go regarding graphic design, right? So, like I said, I don't really know that for now. So, but left to you, judge by yourself. Even though that you are good, right, and you have your portfolio ready, right, I would implore you to send me your portfolio. I'm also going to still vet it, right, before I send to who needs the portfolios, right? So just send your portfolio to me if it's ready. If it's not ready, please don't bother sending it. If it's ready and you feel like it's good, you know a good design when you see one, right? Judge by yourself and kindly share with me alongside your CV, right? I'll try and have a quick review on that before I send to the client. All right. Thank you. Are we good, everyone? Did we all get that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, it took time for one person to answer. I need somebody else to respond to. Did we get that?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, we got
Yes.
you.
Okay, all right. Thank you. All right, thank you, Boma. I'll see you guys later. Bye.
All right, Michael. Thank you. Okay. Is there any okay, see you and Michael? Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yes, I can.
Oh, okay. So we got to the place of where what is typeface and what is a font, right?
Yeah.
All right. So now we're talking about how you can get font size for your designs, right? While we're doing the wireframe, low fidelity wireframe, we did not even pay attention to any of that. If you notice, I was not looking at your font, I was not looking at your alignment, I was not looking at all of those things, because low fidelity is your first draft. Is you saying, okay, this is how I want to design this thing, or this is how I want it to be. You've not started adding colors or any of those things to now make it fine. Now this is the point where we are thinking of making our design fine. Like I said, you can select a base font. The reason why I said everybody should download Figma Miro is because one thing Figma Miro would have, okay, did you, what did Michael say? Okay, Michael said something about he's having a meeting, so he might not be able to join by 12 o'clock as planned, but that if the meeting is 1 hour, I will come in by 1 or 2 o'clock. So we'll still have to
Okay.
go at 2 o'clock. And then there's an
Thank you.
opportunity. They need two designers and for a
Okay.
client. So if your portfolio is good to go, you've done your portfolio, you can send your portfolio to him so that
Okay.
he can send it to the client and you get the job if you're
Okay.
good.
Thank you.
All right. So like I said, I can't tell you the number of fonts or the font size to use, right? But one thing that you would always put in your head is your any font size you're using, it should be readable. The reason why I said you should download Figma Miro is an app that would make you view your designs, your mobile app design on your phone. So you're going to have your phone feel. So let's say you use 12 and you look in your Figma Miro on screen and it's showing where, because you're the one designing it, and you look in your Figma Miro, right, and you can't read it, what is going to happen at that point? Guys, this is a question that I need answer to.
That means you have to come back to the design and work on probably the text or something.
Okay, that means you have to come back to increase the size, right? That is it. You have to come back to
Yeah.
increase the size. But imagine that because you said Boma told us that we should use 14. You can see that it's not clear. You are still using 14. That's not the way. But this is how you get your size, right? First of all, you get your base text. Your base text can be 16, it can be 14, it can be 15. And then you multiply it by 1.618. If you multiply 16 by 1.618, what will you get? Someone should do the math. Hello.
Yeah, I'm trying to use my calculator.
Okay. You got 25.888. If you approximate 25.888, approximate it, what is it going to give you? 26. That's how you can see 26 here, right? So imagine you want to design for web. You know that the size that you use as your primary text will not be the same that you use as for web, right? So this is how you multiply it till you get different font size that you use. Now, if you're looking for a small size, you have to now divide. You now have to divide by 1.618. That's for small size. Divide 16 by 1.18, right? You will get a 10, or you get different sizes. So that's how you can do it to start getting different sizes of your font. You can just see. Then the next way you can do it that is very easy is by having a size of 16 and you're adding 2 to it. So if you need a big size, let's say 14, you have 40 or you have 50 and you need a size that is bigger, instead of doing 51 or 49, what do you need to do? Add 2 to it to make it 52 or 50 or 54 if it's 152. You can also add 4. So I'm telling you the different things you can add to your font size, to your base font size. So your base can be, my base is 16, my base is 18, my base is this. You choose your base font. What you can do is to add 4 to it or subtract 4 from it to get the different typeface. So you need different sizes of fonts for different things. If you're designing for a bold font, the one we did for onboarding screen that we have a bold font, right? Our bold font was around 24, and the other one was like 16. That's what I used. If you notice mine. Did we all notice it?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So that's it. So that's how you can get your font. I think this is all about font. And there's some things you use. You have to use proper line height. Always align your font to the baseline of your design. So and always ensure that you have line spacing. So let's go to Figma and let me show you something. Now let's say for instance I pick up my text and I write say for instance this is how many font size is this 60, and I say this is design you a place you can learn a place you can learn a tech skill. They are currently design school. So let's assume that this is my text and this is font size 16, right? And I have it here like this, and I make it regular. This is where to choose your font. Now, is this readable? Someone should answer. Is this readable very well?
Yes, it is.
Yes,
It's
it
readable.
is.
Yeah.
It's readable. But imagine, so now these are the other things let's talk about the fonts, right? The things you can see. This is where you pick your fonts. If you come to this, you can pick your fonts. All fonts on your system, you can pick your fonts. Then if you come to here, you can now pick the font type. I said I use Inter. Now can you see why I use Inter? It has different widths. I have extra black, italic, and all of that. This is where you choose the font width. Then this is where you increase the size of your font. You can increase the size of your font. Now this is where you add line height to your design. For now, this it is 19. So just imagine I make it like 10. Is this readable?
No.
You can see that this is even ugly. So this is where you have add spacing to your line height. So if I make it 20, I can read it very well. And now this is where you add this is letter spacing. You can add spacing to your letter, but it's not important. And this, just imagine me adding this to it. You can see that this is not even readable well. It's not fine. And this is where you add paragraph spacing. If you have paragraphs, different paragraphs, you can add paragraph spacing to it. This is where you align your text to the left, you align to the center, and you align to the right. This is where you align your text width. So if I say this should be auto width, right, it's going to take this width. You can decide to do auto height. It's going to take the height of your, let's say for instance, I have this, I drag this down, right, and I decide to use auto height. You can see that it took the height of the font. And if I do the same thing, you can see this fixed size is going to fix the size. Then you can align your text to the middle. Then if you click on these three dots, right, you come here, you see different things that you can do. You can see resizing, auto resizing, you can see fixed size, alignment, save. You can add underline to your text. You can do strike through depending on what you want to do, right? And you can turn all off. You can change your case to lowercase, uppercase, and title case. You can change it there, and then you can trim your text to vertical trim, horizontal trim. You can add lists to it. You can add numbers to it. You can space your list here by adding a size. You can space your paragraph also. So that's what the things you can do with text. Then if you come to detail, you can see different things: indent, capital spacing, styles, all of these things that you might end up not using. You might end up not using them. Then you can increase your width. You can make your text slants and so on and so forth. So that's basically what you can do with this. Is there any question?
No, ma.
No question, no question.
Okay. So what is the issue that you can see with this text that is making it that they said it's bad?
The
Guys,
spacing.
The spacing.
yes. The spacing here is too much. Too much. So you can always reduce your spacing. This is a quote. If you don't control your type, it will control you. Letter spacing is actually not important. Your letter spacing should always be 0, and that's perfect. But if you have something like a big text, you can decide to change it to -3. Or if you have something like this, you can see that this spacing is the space between this and this is too much, and you want it to be readable. You can decide to make it -3. And how to align your text, right? Now, one thing you need to note is if you have something like this is a bad way of aligning. Rather than something like this, okay, let me show you an example, right? Um, as I have this slide, can you see that it's a bad way of aligning my text? All I need to do is to drag this inside so that it will be like this. This is better than the first one that you have here. You see that this is called a rag. A rag is this space that you have after a text. So your rag should not be too much. Then if you have a text like this, right? If you have a rag like this, it's better that you centralize your text. So if you need to have something like this, it's better that you centralize your text. Are we together?
Yes, we are.
Yes, ma.
What can you see that is wrong with this particular design when it comes to alignment?
Okay, well, from the PDF, it shows that align different text sizes to the baseline. So add a product is actually aligned to your product instead of I think it should be the bottom part of it.
Okay, so this is not aligned to this, right? It should be aligned to the bottom part of it. You're correct. So you can see ways in which you can align to text, especially when you start designing and you have all products here. And this part you are saying see all, right? Instead of you to align it down, you align it to this one. All right, so this is it about font size or text and all of that. So is there any question?
No questions, man.
So the next one is color, right? For colors, we have before we start, right? Seeing these colors, what can you see?
They are bright colors, but the most prominent color there is blue.
No,
I
I
can
mean,
see more
what
blue.
brand can you see? Sorry, I asked the wrong. What brand can you recognize here?
Okay.
Facebook.
UBA
Sorry.
Bank. Facebook, YouTube,
WhatsApp.
Pepsi.
Okay.
Yes.
Butterwave.
Pepsi.
How many did you guess right?
I got the
No.
Facebook.
Facebook.
So now, for colors, right? What you need to know about colors is like, color in UI is not just like colors in graphics. Once I see your brand color, right, I should be able to know what this particular color represents. You should be able to know what it represents. So when you're choosing colors, choose colors that are good or that shows your brand itself. Now, what are the things we look in color? We look what is hue? Hue is just another word for color. So once you hear what hue are we using, you just know. Therefore, saturation is a range from pure color to gray. So once you start moving your color, so let's say for instance, I have this color right here. I pick red and I start moving my red down to different places. I get to pure gray, that is saturation. Then what is lightness? Lightness is how bright the color is from black to white. So let's say for instance, what lightness means in this our color is we have a particular base color, and once we start adding white to it, that's lightness for our colors. Then when you talk about shade, a shade is a color created when you add black to it too. Then tint is a color created when you add white to your color. But this is how bright a color will look from black to white. So we've done the white part, right? And now if we move to the black part, how is it going to appear? So that's like what I want you to note. You can see, I said it on the first, I think in the first class, that you should never use pure black in UI design because it has high contrast and it's bad for the eyes. But you can use black for text, white for background, but all you need to do is to just add, it should not be pure black. So like I said, anything here is not good for your design. But you can add, if you come here, this is good to use for your text. This is good to use for your text. Oh yeah, they are good, but once it's pure black 000, please avoid it. And you know why? Because it's too sharp for the eyes. Now, before you start using color, you use white and black. This is our low fidelity prototype. Please, who is unmuted? So before you start doing this, you have to use black and white to first of all design. Now, color psychology, color wheel. Guys, have you guys done this? So it's not new, right? It's not something that is strange.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
So you have your primary color, your secondary color, and your tertiary color. Now for this, right? What is blue color? What do you use blue for? Blue is like if you want to design for a tech brand, right? Anything tech product. Although all products are tech products, but if you're designing for you're designing for social media platforms, right? You should always think of blue. You can see the likes of Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and all of that. Before Twitter turned to black, it was blue it was using. So if you want to design for social media, you would always get to try to use blue, a different shade of blue that is not there. Now, the negative side of using blue is that it is popular. So it can be competing with other people. Just the way you saw blue and the first thing that came to your mind is Facebook. But at the end of the day, there are different companies that their color is blue. Red is very energetic. But yeah, for UI mostly we use it for danger. We use it for warning colors. So in our color, we have our primary color, we have our secondary color, and we have our warning color. Now for warning color, we have red, we have green, and we have orange. Just the way you have traffic lights. Red stands for pause, right? Warning stands green stands for orange stands for get ready, and green stands for move in our traffic lights. That's the same way in UI. We have those colors. Our red stands for there's a danger somewhere, you need to fix an error. Orange is like a warning. We are warning you against something. And then green means success. It was successful. For red, you use red to design when it comes to excitement, Valentine's Day, energy, negativity, and all of that. In a particular country, red means good thing. So while some countries, red means danger. So when you're choosing colors for UI, you also need to study the psychology behind it. When I mean the psychology, if you're designing for an international client, right, you need to check the origin of this country, the kind of colors that they don't like, so that you don't end up doing something bad for yourself. Now, before you ask the question, let me answer that question before you ask it. Some people would ask me, how about the company should give you logo? Now, choosing colors for a company is when they don't have logo and they want you to design. You'll now be the one to choose the color. But if they have logo, right, all you need to do is to pick their primary color from their logo and work with it. Look for other colors that will match it and just work with it. But then because you all studied, they've all taught you product design and graphic design, you can take a contract and collect all the money by first of all designing the brand identity for this person before you now go over to now design other things. Are we together?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So yellow stands for we use it for notification too, but it catches attention and so on and so forth. If we start looking at all of these colors, right, we'll not go into other things. So when it comes to color, this is just one thing I want you to note. Now, there's a color palette place I use, and it's called Color.co. Colors.co. I'm not a color person. I don't know, most of you might have imagined why in Next Factory they say I used to wear just black and white. I don't have strength to now start thinking, with this color match with what I'm doing? They are giving you people cookies. So how many persons have eaten? Can I send free cookies for all of you? Nah, people will not
Accept
talk.
all.
Oh. I want to give you free thing. All right, so
Please, we are waiting for us.
I have allergy.
can you see how that design was? That design is fine. It's still the same accept cookies on other platform, but see as this one is fine. So because I don't know how to mix colors. I don't know how to merge colors. I try as much as I can not to merge colors or not to think of how to use colors. I just make it very easy for myself. And this is what I do. I come to start the generator, for instance. Once you go to cooler.co, did I copy the website? Let me send it on the chat if I did, because that's the next question I will get. What is the name of the website? Cooler.co. And once you get there, you just do start the generator. Now, once you get to start the generator, right? Or let me go back. Let me go back and show you the different things you can do before you start the generator. So you can see tools first, right? Under tools, this is where you can see color generator. That's the start generator you have here. Color palettes, you can download color palettes. Color picker, so you can have an image and you want to pick the colors from the image and you use this one. You can do contrast check. So once I click on hello guys, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
Okay. So once I click on start the generator, right? Now let's say for instance, is there any this thing logo that I have here? Right, so I'll use this. So let's assume that this color is our primary color, or this color is our primary color. So I'll just pick it. Say, let's say this is our logo, right? And I have that as my primary color. I'll just pick it. When I pick it and I come here, I'll just come here and you see this color, select color. I'll click on it and I'll paste my primary color. That's Ctrl V. Now remember that I'm trying to look for colors that will match. So after pasting it, I'll lock it. With this toggle lock here, I'll lock the color. Now, do you know why I'm locking the color? I'm locking it so that my primary color will be steady while I look for other colors that will match with it. So once I'm done locking, I'll just be pressing my space bar. Oh, I did not lock it. Can you imagine? I did not lock it. Now I've locked it. So you can see that all of that, if I press my space bar, right, I'm seeing different colors that will match with my primary color. So it's not left for you at this point to choose any color that you like. You see a color that you like, you can just pick it up. Have I seen any color that I like? No. So I think I like this color. So I can just lock this color too. And if I need another color, sorry. If I need another color, I would still do the space till I finish it. Now, for those of you,
So
I want us
this,
to,
so this colors suggestion variants. So if you're
yeah.
choosing it, it's something we can use as a background of that, instead of just using it pure white.
So you can choose a background. This is white. Can you see that this is white? I can decide to take this one too. So what you do is once you're done, you just copy the color code and maybe paste it on Figma so that you know that you'll be using this color code to work. So let's say I paste it here, Ctrl V. That's the first color code. And I'll come here, I'll copy the next color code with this color and I'll paste it here. I'll move it up right. I'm not using my mouse, so let me just use my arrow button and bring it down and copy the next color. So that's what you can do with. Now there are sometimes that you would want, for instance, I have this black, right? And I want to use red on it. Say for instance, this is my black. I copy it and I want to use red for it. That's the first thing we did, right? We've done this, what's it called? Color picker. We've selected color. For instance, now if I go to node tools, right? And I come to contrast checker. This is what contrast checker would help you do. Let's say you have a red text, a very dark, a very sharp red. This is the red. And you want to check if it will, yes? Did anybody call me? Hello?
I thought I had someone.
Yeah, I heard somebody say ma. All right, let's continue. Did we get to this point? Are we together?
Yes.
All right. So let's say I have red and I want to have my background. You can see my background now. Let me paste that color that I have for my background. And some of you, this is how some of you design. These are some of your designs. You would have black and apple red, pure red. Can you see how this is? Now, if you're end bent on using this color for your design, right? What you do is you can see that from the contrast checker, this is very poor. If you check on small text, you can see that it's poor. If you check on large text, you can see that it's poor. So all you can do is you can come here to fix it and say click to fix. It's either you adjust the text color or you adjust the background color or you adjust both. So let me say I adjust both. You can see that what they did is they just reduce the opacity of the red. They just reduce the red for me and it can still work on black. If I click to enhance, you can still click to enhance to adjust text color. You can see that the text color was also adjusted again. And this is better. Is this not better than the first one?
Yes, it is.
All right. It is better than the first one. All right, that's it. That's it for what you can do. So has anybody known the color that you want to use for your design? Yeah, for
Not
your
yet.
design. Okay, not yet. So, all right, so let's get back. Can I see? Is that a question? Ma, try blue and orange. It's something you can try on your own. A text color, blue. What shade of blue? Remember that we have blue as different shades. Is this blue? No, this is not blue. This is blue. And the other one is orange, right? So let's see, where is orange? This is orange. This is orange. You can see that it's very poor. If you now decide to say, okay, if you click to fix it, this is how it will come out. Adjust both colors. This is how it will come out. And this is better off. So that's it. For design, right, we don't use more than primary color, secondary color, and your accent colors. That's what you need to do. First, you choose a primary color, and then you choose a secondary color. I've already talked about this one. Your success, your warning, and your error. I just got the notification. Hello, guys. Can you guys see me? Hello. I can see this.
Yes.
Okay, I'm seeing on my status on my this that your network is bad. Okay, so choose your accent colors, right? Very important. Now your warning color, you can use your primary color as your warning color, but you just need to change it a bit. So there's some companies that their primary color is, let's say, green. If you want to use warning, just use something that is slightly different from what they already have. Then you can create, then the next thing to do is to create tints of all your colors. Now there's a platform called still the same place, right? If you go to what's it called, palette generator, and let's say for instance you put your primary color, remember to create shades. So I can decide to just come here, you see view shades, and you see the lighter version and you see the darker version. So you can decide to copy all of these and paste it, or you can decide to just use the word export your colors. You can export your color codes. See all the color codes that are here. You can copy it or download it and paste it on Figma so you can use it to work. And then you can choose all the color. Remember, pure black is danger for us. We don't use pure black. Then this is how you apply colors in UI UX, right? We apply color using the 60, 30, and 10 rule. Now, what is the 60, 30, and 10 rule? The 60, 30, and 10 rules means that your primary color should be 60%. You have 60% of your background. One color should be 60%. The next color should be 30% that you can use most and all of that. Sorry for text. The first one can be used as your background. The second one can be for text. And then the 10% should be used buttons and all of that. So the way I use my 60, 30, 10, right? I use white as my 60 most times, and I use 10. I use black as my 30 most times, and I use 10 to that's my primary color to be my buttons, all of that, depending on which color you want to use dominant. So that 60% should be the color that is dominant. If it's for dark mode, you know that it's black that is going to be dominant. And those other colors will be like 10 and 30% of it. So this is what we talked about. First of all, you have to select a primary color, and then if you need a secondary color to select, then choose your notification colors when you're doing colors. Create tints of all your colors that you've chosen so far. Then create shades of all the colors too, and then create the gray version of it. So now, do you know what I want us to do before 11 o'clock? This is almost 15 minutes to 11, right? So I want us to like go and get our colors. Go and research your field, right? Which color works best for your field. So once you get the color that works best for your field, then you should be able to use color.co and get 3 colors. So how do you get the colors, right? This is what I want you to do. Get your a rectangle or a shape and draw it. So I just need like 5 colors and different shades for it, and draw the box like this. And let's say if this is your primary color, you just add the primary color here. Let's say blue is your primary color, for instance. After your research, your 10 minutes research, you find out that blue is your primary color. Go to color.co and create 2 different colors from it. Create your accent colors using boxes to just represent all your colors. And then should you do tints and shades? So let's leave tints and shades first. And just your colors, just go and get your colors. Is there any question?
Right, so let's continue from where we stopped. So we've talked about 2 elements so far. Talked about grid system. We've talked about color. We've talked about typography. So now we're talking about gradients. So in design, right, we use gradients too. So you see why I say sometimes you should choose a primary and secondary color. It's because you can use it for gradients. Now, what are gradients, right? Gradients are like in design, use 1 or 2 colors to bring up something better, something finer, and all of that. So why do we use gradients? You have gradients everywhere. Sometimes you see, just look at this button, right? This is a button that has gradients, and I think this is just a plain button. Looking at this, you would observe very well that this button looks finer because it has like a gradient in it. So you can see Instagram, their logo is not complex. What makes Instagram logo fine is their gradient, is the gradient that they used for it. So what are the types of gradients that we have? We have linear gradient, right? This is like the simple gradient that you get to add 2 or more colors together. So how do you get gradients in Figma? So we'll be doing it one step at a time. So let me be sure. Okay, we have more people in class now. So for gradient, for instance, if you want to get gradient, you can see that this part, once you need to notice, once you click on something, something will be activated. So if I click on this, you can see that this is solid color, then this is gradient. So once you click on the second one, let's take it again. Click on your, okay, let's say for instance, I pick up a rectangle, a new rectangle, right? And I draw it here. And then if I come to fill, once I click on it, you see it automatically fill will be activated. So I'll just click on this fill color, and then you see the solid color. Solid color is just one. But then if you come to gradient, you would see that they have different types of gradient. The first one is the linear gradient that we are talking about, right? For the linear gradient, you just have 1 or 2 colors. Can you hear me? Oh,
Hello.
okay.
Yeah, Boma.
Can
I've dropped attendance there. I just want
All
to
right, guys, you guys should fill attendance.
Thank you.
All right, should I hold on till you guys fill attendance so that you don't get distracted?
Yes, ma'am.
So we saw how to get to gradients, right? So once you get to gradients, all you need to do is you click on the first color and you choose the color that you want to use. And then you click on the second one and you put the color you want to use. And then you can, once you click on the first one, right, you can reduce the opacity of the first one here, depending on what exactly you want to achieve. And you can also do the same for here, reduce the opacity. It's all dependent on what exactly you want to achieve. Now, there's another thing you can do. You can always, so, so for this, sorry. So for this right now, if I come here, I can see expand this. You can see, you can expand it. You can expand it depending on what you want to achieve. This is not left for you. This is not left for you. And you can extend this. You can shift this thing from here to, you can shift it anywhere you want to shift it by just using your mouse to do this one. You can see. You can see. Then see, that's for linear, right? Are we together?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
All right. So the next one is radial gradient. So how do you get radial gradient? Where you see linear, you can see a drop down. So you just click on it and you come to radial. So for radial, what will happen is the gradient will be at the center. So the color that you want to be at the center, you can want it there. So so you can now change it, do anything you want to do with it, right? So that's the one for radial. Now the next kind of gradient we have is the angular gradient that it just takes a space and put it, for instance, any shapes you use, right? If you use circle, it's just going to take a particular space from it. So if you come here and you click to angular, you can see that this is a circle, and then you can start expanding it and bringing this and all of that. You can change the colors to all of these ones now is based on what you want to do, right? You can see that you can move it around circle. Is the angular part like circle? You can move it anywhere you want to move it. This is for angular gradient. And then we have the mesh gradient that you can use different ones. For now, right? I don't think you can do that mesh on Figma. What you can do is you can you can add different colors, right? Different colors, different space, and just try to get it. But there are plugins that you can also use to get all of this. So that's it for gradient. Gradient makes your work finer. Gradient makes your work and all of that. You can see different logos using gradients. And now the next one is, so have you got ingredients?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Are we sure? Are we sure?
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
Yes.
So the next one is shadows, right? We use shadows in our designs a lot as product designers. But me, I don't like using shadow. Not like I don't like using shadow. I told you that I prefer simple stuff. But for shadows, what are shadows? You know those effects that makes your work easier or that makes your work fine. That's what a shadow is. So for shadow, um how many types of shadow do we have? We have mostly two types of shadow. We have the drop shadow that is commonly used, that you blur just one part of your screen, right? Oh, okay, attendant. We have the drop shadow that we commonly use. Almost everybody use drop shadow, where you would have like a part of your screen elevated. That's what the drop shadow is. Now for shadow, right, we have different elements you can set in your shadow. So how do you add shadows on Figma? For you to add shadow on Figma, you have to come to Figma first, and then and then so let's see. So let me put this one now. Say I want to add shadow on this. You can see this part. We have stroke. For stroke, it will add a stroke to you for you, right? Then we have effects. So just click on plus. Once you click on plus, you can see that you've added shadow, and we have different types of shadow: inner blur, inner shadow, drop shadow, layer blur, and background shadow. So that's how to add shadow to your design. But there are some settings you need to learn. Now, one of it is we have the X value and we have the Y value. We also have the opacity, and then we have the blur. So for any shadow you are putting, you'd see these four things. You have X, Y, blur, and opacity. So for you to have a soft shadow, right, this is what you need to note. Your blur should be of high value, and your opacity should be low. Have a soft shadow, and then you can increase your Y value too, and then have your Z, your X to be 0 for you to have a soft shadow. Now, so let me show you how to do that, right? For you to get a soft shadow on Figma, just put this in your head. For soft shadow, your blur should be high. Then your opacity should be low. And then your Y value should be a little bit increased, and your X should be 0 for you to have a soft value, a soft shadow. Now take if I come to Figma, right, and I click on this. So for any time you add something, right, all you need to do is to click on the icon and come here. You can see the X is 0, the Y is on 4. Now this is what I'm going to set. The blur should be like 50, and then the next one is your opacity. This is your opacity, right? Your opacity should be reduced to be like 10 or to be like 5. And this is a soft shadow. But let's say we want to make this shadow hard. We can just change this to be like 10, for instance, and this should be like 30. You'll see that the shadow is not soft. Is not soft. It's giving us what's it called? Hard value. Hard shadow. Are we together?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
So you know how to get it for your shadow to be soft, right? And we mostly use soft shadows in everything we are doing. Your blur should be relatively high. Your blur should be high, and then your X value should be 0. Your Y can be elevated to 4. Leave your Y value at 4, and then your opacity should be around 10% or 5%. That's going to make your shadow to be soft. Now, the same rule you have for your design, that's the same rule you have for your shadow. Always avoid pure black. You can use different colors, but don't always avoid pure black. Now, let's say for instance, if I come back to this shadow, right, and I click on the shadow and I make my blur to be 50, and I make this to be like 10. So I want this shadow not to be black. I want it to be a colorful shadow. I'll just add a color to it, and you can see this is another shadow. Let me add the primary color to be the color that I just used for the shadow. You can see how this shadow is. This shadow is soft and finer and better. So that's it about shadow. And now one thing you need to note, not every element needs a drop shadow. Sometimes once you teach people drop shadow, You see them start using shadow for buttons like this. You see them start using shadows for text. You see them start using shadows for different things. Now, one thing you need to note is anything that is not clickable should not have a shadow. So if you want to put a shadow, right, your shadow should be around your buttons. Your buttons should always have shadows, or your buttons can have shadows. For anything that is not clickable, this is disabled button. You don't need to add your shadow. You can also use shadow to increase the contrast of something. Don't use shadows. Don't use white shadow in dark mode, please. You can use dark shadows in dark mode. Then we have the inner shadow, that is the opposite of the drop shadow. For the inner shadow, right, you get to elevate something that is inner. Now you have the same thing here. Let's say for instance you want to add a shadow and you change from blur to inner shadow. For inner shadow, you are adding it um to something inside. This is the drop shadow, this is inner shadow. So it's going to sink into the background. That's what inner shadow looks like. They sink into the background. So for the settings, right, you can still use the same kind of settings to do your inner shadow. Inner shadow is not really needed. Most times you would not use it. You would only use blur shadow. Now sometimes you'd see people want to do something like a glass effect. What we use for that is layer blur. With layer blur, right, you can have a glass effect. But this is just for blur. You can change the blur number. So the higher the blur number, the higher the glass effect you get. So can you see it? So I can now decide to reduce this to be 10 too, or I can decide to reduce this to be 40. You can see that I have a glass effect here. You can reduce it till you get what you're looking for, right? This is based on you. This is a glass effect. I have a glass effect. I want to do a glass effect. I've done it using the what? What did I use? I used
Layer
layer
blur.
blur. Yeah. Background blur, same thing. You can use background blur, right, to blur your background, to do all of this. So you just need to freestyle with this. Freestyle anything that works. One thing I note is we all know what is fine and what is not fine. Whether it's you that is designing it, you would always know what is fine and what is not fine. So that's it for shadows. So if I tell you to create a button with shadow, can you do that with a soft shadow?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yeah, so only 2% answering. So what's
Yeah,
of
yeah,
the other
I get it now.
persons? Alright, no problem. It's nice. Alright, so that's it. Now the next thing is button. This is like very important, right? This is very important to us as product designers. A button is an interactive element that allows you to take an action. So what are the actions you can take for a button? You can click a button, you can tap a button, you can tap a button, yes. Now we have different types of buttons, right? We have the first one, which is the call to action button. The call to action button is expecting you to perform an action, something like create an account, sign up. By clicking
Ma,
it,
your voice is low.
okay, can you hear me now? Hello, can you hear me now?
Yes, it's better now.
Oh, okay. So I'm talking about the types of buttons we have. We have the call to action button. The call to action button is the button that we all, just like the name, you just know that you need to take an action once you see that button. It is used to perform an action. Now, example of a call to action button, you have sign off, get started, sign in, next. All those things that once you click on it to take you to the next one, it's called the call to action button. Now, your call to action button should always stand out. We talked about this in one of the classes, but we did not go deeper. Your call to action button should always stand out. It should always be your primary color, or mostly be your, not always though. It should mostly be your primary color, right? So it should you can see this. This is vinyl. Can you see how this is not attractive and somebody will not know that it's a call to action? But seeing this, you would easily know that it's a call to action. Now, one thing you need to note is your button height matters. I saw it in class, but I refuse to say anything about it. If you notice, for all buttons that I've created on this, check my button. Did you notice that my button height is 55? Check all the buttons I created, everything I created. No one went beyond that. So one thing you need to note is for your button, right? Your height should not go below 40. So before, I used to even say do not go below 45. So within 40 to 60, any number you choose is fine. Now take for instance, I want to draw a button, right? And I pick up my rectangle and I draw from here to here. If it's like this, it's not a button. This is height is 100. If it's like this, 30, it's not a button. But if it's from 40, around 40, it's a button. But you see why I also don't like 40. I prefer to go 45. Or my best button size is 60. I use 60 for buttons. You see how small this thing is? If you play it right, it will be very big. That's just the truth. So I use between 45 to 60 as my button. I'm talking about the height. The height. This weight is depending on the screen size. But you see this height, a button should not go below 40. It should be between 40 and 60. This is a wrong button. This is a good button. So did we get it?
Yes, ma'am.
We got the numbers, right?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So the next one is your primary buttons. Your primary buttons are those buttons, just similar to call to action buttons, that they look exactly like call to action. Just that the difference is for primary button, it just helps you to use the products. Save this file, download, continue. It's helping you to use the product. It's not like it's telling you to perform some action. You get, they are similar, but the truth is you can use your primary button as your call to action button. They are just similar. Now, another example of a primary button is next, continue. You know all of those on your onboarding screen, those buttons you put there, they are mostly your primary button. And then your secondary button, very important. Your secondary buttons are buttons that you can have something like login and sign up on it on the same screen, right? Login can be a primary button, the other one can be your secondary button, but they are all call to action at that point. So your secondary button are like your alternative buttons. You use those buttons when you need to use two buttons at the same time on a screen. That's when you use it. Then you have your tertiary buttons. Your tertiary buttons are those buttons that you rarely use. Something like this, save, this kind of save, share, add contacts. These ones you rarely use them. You use them once in a while. And then we have this kind of buttons, bookmark, this kind of buttons. We've seen them on. This is save, this is share. Those buttons that once you see them, you rarely use them. You use them once in a while. Now we have different types of button or different styles of button. We have the field button. This field button is a button that has the solid color or the gradient color in full. We have the line button, field button. So where can you categorize field button? Hello,
I
I'm asking a question. For field button, right? Where can you classify this field button?
Like their
that's
action.
I feel maybe the main button or something. The
You can
main
call it, yeah, you can
action to
call
be
it a
taken.
primary
Primary button.
Primary
Primary or
button.
call to action. Yes. Then we have the outline color that doesn't have a color per se. It just has an outline. An outline, that means what we mean by an outline is it has a stroke. It has a stroke. And then we have the transparent buttons, the ones that you tint the background. It's just transparent like this. We have the text button. These ones you see them mostly not a user or already a user sign off. Those buttons, those link, those text buttons. Then we have buttons that you have icons inside. So you can see the different types of buttons. We have the one that is completely filled. We have the outline. We have the icons plus button. We have the transparent button. We have the text button and all of that. Now, how do you use your button or how do you create buttons? Remember that in my buttons, I told you that you can add no rounded button, no rounded corner. You can add rounded corner and you can add extremely rounded corner. You get. So that's it. Then you can add shadows to your button. And then we have states of buttons, different states of buttons. Now these different states would make you know when something is happening. So for instance, we always have a default state. The difference between, if you look at this button, all of them, they are the same. Now, if you go to any website, right, which website should I go to? Oh, which website should I go to? I think AOL. I don't know if they have what I'm looking for. Now, if you click on a particular button, can you see that something happens? What can you see? Yeah?
Brother, I drop down menu to choose from.
Not the drop down menu. Okay, let's leave the drop down menu. If you click on this button, what happens?
The color changes.
Color
Yes.
changes.
The color becomes darker, and for this, the color changes. So, for buttons, right, we have what we call the default state. This is the default state where nothing is changing. That it's like this, now it's default state. Now the next state we have is the over state. The over state is if I bring my mouse close to it, what happens? It will change color. It will change color. Once I bring my mouse to it, it changes color. Now we have the clicked state. The click state is how is it going to be when I click on something? So let me click on for you and I come and click spend money. How is it going to be? You can see that this is showing that I've clicked on this. If I come here and click on this and say insights, okay, did you see that it changed the color to insights?
Yes,
I want to
ma'am.
be sure that guys we are following
Yes,
the
yes.
different button state. Default states when it is not clicked, when nothing happens to it, when it's just there. Over states when you put your mouse close to it, what happens? Then once you click on it, what happens? And then we have the disabled states. The state where nobody has clicked on it, nothing has happened to it, it's just disabled. You get. Now we've talked about the button height, that your button height should be between 40 to 60. Now, if you're doing anything padding, right, your horizontal padding should be 32. So you know what, when we get to auto layouts, you get to understand padding very well. Now you can see this button, this is wrong. What we do is you can see the padding. Yeah, it's 32, this is 32. That's the space between this and this is 32. The space between this and this is 32, no matter how long this button becomes. When we go to auto layout, right, we'll get it. And then this is another thing, guys, nobody in this class should do. When I mean nobody should do it. Your button should not be half of your form input size. It should be equal. Do not do your form input like this and you do it like this. Now, some of you have already done it in your wireframing. If you know that you are in this class and you did a short button, let me see your hand.
I did.
Yeah. So it is a very bad pattern. It's the only fault that is admitting to it. All of it now you're doing like you
So
did it. Okay. So you should never do it. Your button should be the same size with your. If you look at me most times, what I do, I just duplicate this and I keep it down, and I use it to just change the pattern to be a button. Then your button size, your text size should not be big, should not be small. I recommend 16. 16 is the best size to use. Like 16 pixel is the best size to use. Then be consistent with your borders, your radius. If you use 10 to start your design, your button all should be 10. No one should now come to 20 for consistency's sake. Then the kind of text you use in your button, right? I've seen most people they just come next. Next what? That's the question. Complete. Complete what? Open. Open what? Register. Register what? What are you registering? Your voting should have a correct or complete call to action. Complete purchase. Continue to next page or continue to this. Continue to that. Some of this content that we use is now becoming boring, right? And then how to pair buttons. You can see next step and back. Never you put what your users are supposed to click next to not keep it at the back. So it's just like cancel and continue. You're not going to keep continue here and you're keeping cancel here. No, it doesn't work that way. So you should put, you know that we are all most persons are right-handed. So put it where they would easily access it. The next thing you want them to do. So is there any question on button? Think well. Did everything I say about button, do you understand it? If no, if there's any question on it, ask.
Sorry, ma, concerning the button, you said the space between the text and the edge of the box should be 32. So what if the button is small?
What if the button is small? Now,
Yeah.
did you see the part where I showed you that you cannot have a small button, or you should never have a small button? Your form input size should be your. In fact, what I do for all my button, I don't know if anybody noticed it. You can see that my button is from start to finish. There's if I can still do that button you're talking about. Just imagine me doing as the button is like this, right? There's no way this button would. Okay, for instance, if I close it in, this is what you mean by what if it is small. And now I'm telling you today that this kind of button is a no. This kind of button is a no. Your button should have breathing space, right? I've answered the question.
Yes, ma. Yes, ma. But if as this button is big, this your button now, it's obvious that between the button and between the text and the edge is more than
Is more
32.
than 32. So that what we are trying to tell you is the least should be 32. If I want to check this button, right, I can tell you
Okay.
the space between them. Let me just look at this. Let me do this button, right? I'll do something. Please, guys, don't ask me how I did it. I'm going to introduce that in class tomorrow. Is it tomorrow? Or any other day, but not today. So the size between my button, my horizontal padding is 100. If I do 32, this is 32. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, ma. Yes, ma.
This is 32. Now, can you use 32? Yes, you can use 32 when I have two buttons together. With this now, if I increase it, you can see it's increasing. I've increased this button, right? Now, this is one thing you know about padding and margin. Padding and margin doesn't have anything to do when you do it well. It doesn't have anything to do with this. You can see that this is T32. This is T32. I'm just increasing this. The buttons are the center. This is the padding here. This is the margin. Why this one is why this one is what's it called? This is vertical and this is horizontal. For the horizontal we have 32 and for the vertical we have 18. So let me make it 32 by 32. You can see that my button is over. So when we get to that stage, right, I'm going to show us how to do it and how to then create a good button. So someone was asking in class weekday, is it that you have to draw a box, put a text before you can create a button? The answer is no. You can create a button with just a text, but we are going to, it's either we'll cover that next week or we'll start from tomorrow to cover it. The reason why I'm taking my time today to explain all of the elements is so that once I say let's start designing these elements, right, would not be confused on what it is. Are we together?
That's one. And please, the text inside the button, is there like a fixed
16.
okay,
16.
16? All right.
You can use 1620, 1620 within that range. Now, the next thing we'll talk about is the form. For form elements, what are forms? Forms are those things that you allow people to impute something in it. Details. These are forms. An example: first name, username, password. They are all forms. Text field. You allow them to put something inside. Now, we have the ones of password. We have number fields. We have alphabet fields, and all of that. You should always keep this to be visible. This should always be visible. That's your label. For every text field you have, right, there's always a label for it. You can always add a label. That's if it's first name, let it be there. If it's last name, let it be there. Then you can see that for objects that have just few words, you can put it into the same line. Something like CVV and expiring dates. You see this one, same thing. So this is not something that is new to you, right? It's form input. Now for form input, you have the one that you add an icon to it. Username, you have an icon. Then for different types of form, right? We have form styles to just have button styles. If I go to what's it called? Let me go to what application. Mm, what application do I need to sign in? All right, Prosper.com, right? If there's one thing you would see on that Prosper is want it like this. Can you see anything? Can you see that this form input is empty? But once I put my mouse inside, it's going to be active. You know that all of these things, you're the one that will design it. Are we together?
What's more?
Yeah, so why
Yeah.
you can create your forms and why we have my forms like this, I need to create an active state for this. So now how will I create an active state? I just need to change the stroke color to a different color, and that's an active state. So I'll just tell my users that once they click in, so for the active state, right, this I'll now add like a typewriter to it, like a line to show that this is typing. So let's say I just pick up a line and I will drag the line and put inside. Oh God. So I'm not using my mouse. So I can just drag the line from here. I can just drag the line from here and put it inside here. Hold down my shift and ensure that it's straight. And this I can just make this like a dead thing. So this shows that I am typing. This shows that it is typing. Are we together?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, mom.
All right. Okay. All right. So that's it. That's how to do the active state. Um, you can see it. This is focused. So once it's focused, something is typing on it. Then you have the text with icons, and you have you can include the search icons and all of that. Then the next one is you have the drop down. You have the drop down part of it. Sorry guys, just give me 1 minute. Then we have the drop down. The drop down is also part of text input. So remember we were talking about something like country, you have to include a drop down, right? A drop down, something like for sex to gender, you can include a drop down. Now this is an example of a drop down. So all of these things you'll be the one to design it. Um you'll be the one to design it. With time we'll get to do all of those things. Now, tips, things you need to know when you're doing a drop down, right? If it's something like states, always include a search in it so that people can search. You know why we are doing that, right? So just imagine having a form that you get to choose countries, and we have how many countries in the world, guys? People that know history, how many countries in the world do we have? How many countries in the world do we have? Just give me a rough figure.
195.
195, yeah. So imagine inputting 195. If you're a user and you want to go to Nigeria, sure you have to scroll till you get to Nigeria. So what this is saying is always include a search when you have plenty countries like this. So the next one is also include a scrollable bar. So we should be able to scroll on this. Where to scroll. Now the next one, under form input, we have radio buttons. You know all of these type of radio buttons where they have to choose
Sorry, since Miss Boma is not here again.
Oh, she's not here. I can't hear her also. She's not here. No, don't take my Egba. No press it. Okay. No press it. Nǹkan tó sọ náà nìyí. No press it. No press it.
Okay, guys, she's coming back home. Her network locked her out.
Okay. Ọ̀rẹ́ mọ́ mi fẹ́ ní ẹ̀ ló ń sọ̀rọ̀ yìí. Àwọn lọ sọ pé she's coming back.
Sorry, am I the only one that can't hear anything?
You're not the only one. No, she's not back.
Oh, okay.
Hello guys, can you hear me now? Hello.
Yes, ma'am. Welcome back.
Please, can someone confirm that you can hear? Okay, Alpha, please make me host.
You can.
All right,
Go
so
on.
uh, thank you. So, so
Leave my laptop alone.
where did I stop? I stopped. I think I'm out again. Hello. Hello guys. Can you hear me?
Yes.
you.
Oh, okay. So
But
I
it's
was
breaking,
asking, where
kind
did
of.
we stop? Where did we stop?
Yeah, you stopped at forming
Yes, you
Oh,
text.
can.
I don't know. Oh, okay. So this is something, right? This is something you need to avoid, except it is small. As far as it's first name and last name, you should not put it into two. Should be just one. Should be one line. And basically that's it about form. So once we start creating all of that, right, we'll start creating tomorrow we'll be doing more of form. All of these things we'll be creating them as style guide. So we've talked about forms. Now the next one is icons. Now what are icons? Icons are very important when it comes to designing UI UX. Yesterday I was looking for an icon, right, and I did not see an icon. I don't see an icon, and uh, we did not talk about it. So what you can see different types of icons, settings, cards, and all of that. You can use it anywhere. You can use it. You can use it to even do your normal designs for graphics. For console, use it to do is to clarify things. For instance, I put camera and I want you to see the video of it, and then we use an icon for types of icons. Uh, you can use icons. You can use line icon. Remember yesterday when I got a field, I filled my icons to use this particular that it has both field and the
I
line. We
can't
have
hear
the broken
you.
icon, and then we have the glassy icon. But
Hello, Buma.
hello,
Your line was breaking at a point. If
yeah,
you
can you hear me?
yeah, we can hear you
Oh,
clearly
okay.
now, but it was breaking before. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right, now is it better? I'm talking about the different types of icon we have. Icon.
But your voice is breaking. I can't hear anything from my end.
Hello guys, can you hear me now? Hello.
Yeah,
Let me
it's
start.
better now.
Fab, please can you?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Uh, Idris. Oh, Idris, you're the one that is the host now. Please just make me host. What?
Idris, please make Miss Boma the host.
Hello.
Is it better now? Girls have yeah.
Yes, it is.
Yes, you have. Thank you. Alright. Let's get back. So
The network is the same thing. It's just breaking up.
network. So we
It is
have
still not clear.
the different types of icon. We have the outline icon. That's this. That is most preferred. This is what I use
Network
in
is
all
really
my
bad.
design. We have the field icon. We have the dual tone icon. Um, all right, so better now, right?
Yes, it is.
Hello guys. All right, so I was talking about the different icon styles And I said we have the line icon, we have the field icon, we have the dual tool. The best or the preferable icon to use is this line icon. We have the broken icon and we have the glassy icon. So when can you use icons? You can use it for your navbar. You can use icons for your navbar. You can decide just to use one pack. So we have different icon packs, right? We have packs like Angon icons, Kulu icons, we have Iconify, and all these different packs. You just need to choose a particular pack and use. Now, use simple icons and not complex icons. You can see these are also icons, where you can see how complex it is. We'll see this one makes the design better. So I'm going to share an icon pack with you people to use icon that you can, once you increase or reduce it, it will still be fine. Not the kind of icons that you want to start increasing it, it will start looking somehow. Then use icons. Be consistent with all your icons. You can't use field outline icons here, and you're coming here to use field. If you're using outline, use outline for all. If you're using field, use field for all. Use icons that are also that are consistent in the mixing, the size. So that's why it's preferable that you use a pack. And tomorrow I'm going to send you a pack. Now pair icons with their font size. So you can see having icon like this home. This is not good. So you can do home. The only thing you can do here is to change color. When we start design tomorrow, right, you'd see how to implement all of this. But for now, I'm showing us the different kind of icons we can use. Text. You have this, there's no need putting this. Can you guys hear me?
Yes,
Hello?
yes.
Hello? Oh, okay. All icons should be inside of a box. So once you start downloading icons, right, you see that they come with a particular box. So that box, leave them in the box. Don't delete them or don't do any other thing from it. Now the different kinds of icon, Antoine icons, you can see it on in the community. Tomorrow we don't do anything about it. Tomorrow I'll show us how to get these icons. We have Iconly, we have Iconify, we have different types of icons, right? But that's it for icons. The ones I want you to use is just the outline. Now we have under still UI elements, the things that we use for our designs. We have pictures. Pictures very important for us to download pictures in your designs. Your bad pictures can make your design bad. You can see this. This is bad, but you can see this. The picture, the difference is just the picture and how it's used. So you need to know the kind of pictures that you use. Avoid stock looking pictures. Always avoid pictures like this. Let any picture you are using, it should look real, right? And then use pictures with high resolution. This is something you already know in graphic design. If you're downloading pictures, right, you should not go and download pictures that would not be fine, that has low quality. All your pictures should have high quality. And then you should always use an overlay if you're using the real picture. Even in graphic designs, they taught us this one. You should use an overlay for it. Then the next one is you can use colorful overlay, so any kind of overlay. Then use images that have a single focal point. You want to talk about a tool instead of using an image that we have table, we have flowers, we have everything in one. Why not just look for an image that is just a tool? Then your images should be consistent. If you start using a particular image for it, your images should be consistent across board. Mm, your the kind of font, the kind of this thing you use, right? For me, this is all shades of bad because you're talking about photography. Why this is showing photography, it's also covering this part. So use images that can be clear, that people can understand. Now, one thing about choosing image, you also need to know the tone of the design you're doing. Let's say, for instance, you're designing for a company. It is bad that you go and bring in, what's it called? You gotta bring in animation. Like you go and bring in animation for a corporate company as big as bank. You want to design and they say you should find what's it called, pictures, and then you're going to use animation. You know that that is not going to work. Now, different places where you can download pictures. How many of you know how to download pictures from iStock? Were you taught that?
No,
Hello?
no,
No,
Oh, okay.
no.
So we'll we'll look at that one, right? You can get pictures from Unsplash. Unsplash is even a plugin. You can install it as a plugin. You can get from Pexel. Then you can get all of these features that are how like for the paid features. So let's say for instance I want to download picture from iStore. I want to download all of these features from iStock, right? And you know that if I download it, it will have, once I click on it, it's going to have what do they call this thing? I've forgotten. Credits. This is how this picture will be downloaded, and you can see that it's a paid picture. And we all know that we don't have the money to buy those pictures now. So this is how you can download any of these ones from iStock, Shutterstock, or all of that. So let's say I'm looking for a picture for book or book. I'm looking for a book. Let's say I need pictures about books, or I need something about maids, like African maids. You say, wow. So we have what we call Africa. So you can see pictures that you can use for your designs. You need all of these pictures, you need them for your design. All you need to do is copy the link. Can you see where the link is? The URL. Copy it, Control C. Then come to this website, downloader.le. Downloader.le. Did you get the website? Hello?
Yes, ma, I get it.
So
Yeah,
once
we
you get
got
to
it.
downloader.la, you can download any picture from here, Shutterstock, Adobe Stock, Alamy, all of these paid pictures. You can download it for free. So all you need to do is to come to the picture that we pasted. Remember that we copied this picture from Shutterstock, which is also known as iStock. So I'll just click on it. Once you see this, close it. Then all you need to do is to come here and paste the link, Control V. So once you paste it, you tap your enter on your keyboard, and after that you come here and see um something went wrong. What went wrong? So I'll come here and do search photo. Something went wrong. That means I can't download this particular. Oh, do you know why it happened like that? I did not select any image. So I need to first of all select the image of what I want to. This is the image I want to download, right? I'll now copy the link of the image. So the first time I did not select any image. That's why it told me something went wrong. So after selecting it, right, I can come here and I'll paste it. So let me refresh and I'll paste it. So once you paste it and you click enter, you can see download generated photo. So just click on download generated photo. And after down there, I'll now come to view in full size. View in full size. Now, this thing is out. I can now download my picture to any download or copy it, anyone you want to do. Well, because I work with Figma most times, I just copy my pictures and I paste it. I just copy and paste. And I have this picture. If I want to use it for my design, I have this picture. So automatically it's like I'm licensed, I have paid for the picture. Are we clear? Did you get
No,
that?
I didn't get the license part.
Ma, please, can you
So
help
I'm
to
saying that all of these pictures are paid.
download that.la?
Okay. So that all of these pictures are what's it called, are paid, right? So once you are able to download it, it is in their head you bought it. So that's what I mean by you can now use it
So
anywhere.
that means you don't need to like have the
So
license.
that's the downloader.la. Yes. So for you to be able to download picture from iStuff, you see that you can't download it. You can't. The only thing you can do here is if you pay, you have to pay $9 for this image, or you pay $2.4 with 1 month subscription. That's if you have a subscription. So if you have to buy this image for $9, that's 9,000 naira. But with downloader.la, it assumes that you bought picture. Oh, okay. So is there any question? Hello, hello. This one nobody's answering.
We are here. There's no question.
Just show us how
Oh,
to
okay.
download it.
I said go to any picture that you like. Yes, click on it. Click on the picture, copy the link, come to downloader.la and paste it.
Yes, I get it. I said you just showed us how to download images.
Oh, okay. All right, no problem. So Michael is back. Um, Michael, should I
I don't know if it's on my end. The line is
or
actually
is to continue?
sorry, hold on, sorry. I couldn't really hear what you were saying. I don't know if it's from my side.
Oh, okay. So I said,
Okay, I'm listening.
wow.
You said what?
I said you're back. Should I stop the recording for the class, or you want to continue with the recording?
No. Okay, you can do the recording anyways. In case
Like
there is
stop it. That so that this one it's still review you want to do, so you can still enter the recording so that they can watch it later on.
All right. Thank you. That works. Have you had your own personal review with your classwork?
No, I have not.
Okay, so we're having that together, right?
Yeah, but I'll be muted. So it's only when I need to give review I'll unmute.
Okay, all right, that's fine. All right. Sorry, please a second. Why does it be running? Okay. Hi guys. Good afternoon. So has the attendance been shared just to confirm?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right, great. So we are having our portfolio review right about now. I wish I had time to really, write out the names of person that would come out. So, but let's just do it like this because I don't want this session to be a bit disorganized. Like I don't want it to be disorganized at all. I mean to say. So we would just I will just use what I have on my screen. That's the participants I have on my screen. So I'll be calling you guys name one after the other. So I will just let you know who the next person to share is our screen. So, okay, but first of all, let me just ask, do you guys have your portfolio ready before we even move on? Do you have something that you can share me this afternoon?
Hello, Michael. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Okay. What I did, because I'm still trying to know the best site to build my portfolio, but I compile all my designs in one place so I can show you. So after that, I can now take my time to arrange my portfolio well.
Okay, my first question, why are you still in that phase of still trying to find how to combine your portfolio?
Honestly, I was even on YouTube throughout last night. I wanted to use a Photoshop. I wanted to use Artboard, but it was not working. I also use Illustrator. The design was cutting, honestly. I think I need someone to put me through. Let me be honest. I tried everything I could. Tried to use Artboard, tried to use Illustrator, tried to use Behance.
So, hold
But at
on,
the end of the day, the design is not coming out well.
sorry, hold
The
on.
clarity is not
Sorry,
there.
what should have done is whenever you want to save it on Illustrator, once you show that file, before you click save, you see use artboard. So you have to click on that thing. But if you don't click on it, it will not come out well.
All right. Please, Idris, tomorrow in class, can you guys can I work with you? So I can sort that once and for all.
So that's fine.
Onye, please hold on. To be very honest, what you just give is just an excuse that is very, very invalid. It's just the truth. You can't just imagine. Before he spoke, I was going to say just now that did you actually speak to any of your, classmates, about this? It's just now. Now you've had to mention it.
No, Michael, I never see, I never know this thing is going to happen. I actually wanted to do it by myself. I know different means you can create portfolio. So I thought, to be honest, I thought it's something I can do. So last night I was a bit disappointed that it was not even what I want.
Sorry, but there was a deadline. You couldn't have just waited to this very point. So yes, you thought that you could do it. As at since last last week Sunday I sent it. So from that time till now, let's assume you were thinking you could do it. And the point
I was gathering my design, still adding up, and with the work I was doing with, we just finished our project with Graphy. Then we're still doing UIS. Then I was also gathering my work. So I was like, at the end of the day, when I finished gathering it, I would just now put it in the portfolio for this thing to happen. It was never intentional, honestly. Okay, I'll be very busy, even with my baby and everything. But that's why I stayed up throughout last night. Honestly, I was a bit disappointed, So that's just.
Please, thank you, Onye. Thank you. Please, you can mute your mic. I just want to just quickly say this one feedback once and for all. Just like what I've been saying. Like I mentioned this yesterday during our physical class. We should first of all we should not always wait for the deadline at the time when it's very close to the deadline for us to say we want to have something done. See, the way things work in this life, things work very, very fast, especially even in this kind of situation or the kind of space we are in. Things work very fast. If you leave this program, right, and you get into the market world, right, things work very fast. And so you wouldn't want to, be the one left behind, right? So just always try to ensure that you are running, like you are always working, right? So I like I said, a little bit can give 1,001 reason. To you, of course, they are very valid, but the truth of the matter is that there are always ways to go around things. If you had done this earlier on and you realize that there was a challenge, you would have been able to find ways to tackle that challenge, not at that yesterday, right? Not at that yesterday when it's now very close to the deadline. It's actually, it doesn't. Let me just move away from this because if I should have to talk about this now, so basically might get hot. But like I said, it's just what it is. You just have to know these things. All right. So what I would do now is that, like I said, I'm going to take a screenshot. I want to take a screenshot of what I have right now. I will let you guys know who and who will be presenting their screen, so that at least once one person is presenting their screen, I would have the next person is already aware and also preparing their screen to be shared, right, so to speak. All right. So, but first of all, first person on my list is Akintunde Daniel, and I'm having 21 persons on this call. And I'm going to just this is me being very serious. I'm really going to be serious about this. I don't know why we have few persons. Nobody reached out to me about one challenge or the other. I already mentioned that today we should ensure that we are actually all on this call, to have this review. This is just 21 persons. It's not nice. I think that this morning when I joined, I saw about 28, 29, and now it's just 21. I wait to see those persons that are not on this call. I can't wait to see them. Anyway, so I will take a screenshot now. Like I said, first person on the call on my list is Akintunde Daniel. We also have Blessing, B, Cynthia Onyekwe, and Digital Fab. So these are like the first 4 persons that we'll be calling to present their portfolio. So we'll do it very quick so we don't waste time. So maximum 5-6 minutes. We are done per person, even maybe less, right? Depending on the feedback that the person has. All right, so like I said, Akintunde Daniel, Cynthia. I think I took a screenshot because the person just left now. Now I don't even know the third person anymore. All right, but just Akintunde Daniel, are you on the call?
Hello, Michael, is it me?
Boma, is that you?
I'm asking if you called me.
If I called you, no, I didn't call you. I was calling Daniel. Daniel. Hello, Daniel.
Yes, I'm on the call, sir.
Yeah, so I'm making you call so that you can share your screen. Or are you not using? So please let me know now if you guys cannot. So first of all, to present, it has to be on the system, right? Of course.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
For the rest of you guys that will be called on, please get that ready on your system. So if there'll be any challenge, just let me know so I can move on with the next person. I'll come back to you later so that we don't have to delay this session, having to wait for one person to share screen or to turn their system or something. Although even if it's expected that you guys' system should be turned on already by now, right? So Daniel, I've made you host. You should be able to share screen. Let's quickly have your portfolio. Boma, you can also do well to also share feedbacks to give your thoughts around your work, right? I don't know if you guys know that Boma too stands as a graphic designer as well. Yes, so our major focus is around product design, but yes, he also is a graphic designer.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Please, can we see the screen?
Yes. We can see your screen,
okay.
Daniel.
Okay, sir. So this is the introductory page of my portfolio, and here is my picture. Then it also entails the tools that I've used to actually work and the tools that I've learned from the training. Here also is the table. Here also is the table of content, and then we dive into the flyers that I've made. This is a social media flyer that was created with Canva the very first week of the training.
Okay.
And for this was created with Photoshop the second week of the training also.
Sorry, hold on.
Yeah.
Pardon me, just hold on a bit, please. Because I want to really see your design, I'm trying to display on my screen, like drawing. Okay, just continue, don't worry. Just continue. I will just expand from my phone, then I'll join with my screen.
Okay, sir. So this is the social media flyer I did with Photoshop during the second week. Then over the course of the training, I've been able to do 2 designs for my church, and this is it.
Okay, great. It's really good to know that you had a design. Okay.
And so business card for my capstone project, that's Bean and Brew. Then the second business card is for Nest Factory, which was done in the class and were taught by Dan Litini.
Sorry, I did two business cards here. I can't.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
I see it now. Thank you.
So logo. So this is the logo I created for my capstone project, Bean and Brew. So I have the logo with the main color, then there's a black and white, that's logo variation.
Sorry, hold on, please, Daniel. When you say for your capstone project, is it this capstone project that I just shared with you guys?
No, no, the graphic design capstone project.
Okay, you guys had a project. Yes, I remember.
Yeah, the project we had with the graphic design class, after the graphic design class. Am I good to go, sir?
Yeah, you're good to go. Sorry, continue.
Okay, so the first one has the main color of the brand. Then the black and the white is just to show variations of how it can work on other platforms if there's a need to actually remove the color. So here is another logo I created just to practice. That was even before I created the one for the project. So I created this one just for practice. And for brand identity, I created this also. And that's all, sir.
Okay, that's really good. To be honest, I think your designs are really nice.
Thank you, sir.
If I tell you that I'm trying in my head, I'm trying to remember like put a face to the name. I can do it like, but I think with your voice, I can tell who this is. All right, so I think so far, like looking at your design overall, it looks you're laughing. It looks good. Yeah, can you just go to the beginning, please? I like how you also how you arranged the design. I said that you must have gotten that from the sample I shared, right? Which is really nice. So I know. Okay. Oh yeah. I see your picture now. Of course, I do remember you. Like I do know the face. I mean to say. All right. Yeah. So it's nice.
Thank you, sir.
Those that went to go and use the black background, even when I'm not so much of a fan of it, right? I'm always the ones that would say, yeah, white background is usually the best. But yes, I like the would I say the template? Yes, if it's a template, of course. Yeah, it's nice. And the designs particularly, it's just quite unfortunate that my Zoom is not opening on my system. I really wanted to look at the design closely so that if there is a particular feedback that I could share on the designs, I could quickly do that. But looking at it from my phone, it looks good and sort of well arranged. Boma, are you on this call? Now I'm calling
Yes,
you.
I'm on this call. Yeah. Okay. So Daniel, can you please go back to the first slide? Okay, this is the first slide. Just scroll me through again. So I saw your designs, but there's some corrections I want to make on some.
Okay.
Okay, so let's start with this, right? This is neat. This is nice. But my only issue with this is that your text is not legible. That if you are interested in joining us side, remember that the flyer we should be able to read it, right? Then for this one, your picture is not very clear. The second one. And why we talk about in graphic design, why we talk about the kind of fonts you use. This is, I understand that this is a stylish font, but you can still see stylish fonts that we can read. The whole essence of doing it in a design is so that I can read it and get the picture of what you're trying to paint, right? So that's my only concern about your, but the design is fine. High resolution of this picture, fine. Or did you use remove.bg? If you use remove.bg, it's better that you remove the background from Photoshop itself by using that too.
Okay,
Because remove.bg will reduce
I think
your
it was
quality.
in Canva also.
Yeah, it will. Oh, you did this one in Canva.
Yes.
Did you use Canva background remover?
Yes, I think that's what I did.
Oh,
yes.
okay. All right, so I don't think there's anything you would have done about that. But since you know how to do Photoshop, I would have advised that you remove the background from Photoshop, export it as PNG, then upload it on Canva to do it.
Okay.
All right, scroll down to the other one.
Okay.
So I like this. My only concern is still this scripted font. I think you would have, and it's two inside. I think you would have started it from I can't see the sales, but aside that, look for a way to make that sales legible. Now, there's something I noticed, right? Which is in this. When you talk about hierarchy of fonts, you can't use bold all through, right? This would have been a regular font. Your address would have been a regular font, and the other one a regular font. So it's too bold, those ones. So that's the only thing. So you see the way you did your regular font with this freshveggie.com.
Yes, yes.
That's how you're supposed to do these other ones. Your
Okay.
bold font should just be those things. That thing you want me to catch attention. Like the 50% off Salah, it's good. I can easily I caught it immediately. You get. All right, let's go.
Okay, thank you. So church flyer.
Okay, I like this Thanksgiving stuff, but one thing you need to note, right, is this is a drum, but not
Yes.
everybody will notice that this is a drum.
Okay.
Some people will take this as a tree.
Oh, wow.
So you would have used this native drum and make it just the way you included it here. You would have just used these drums or all of those things everywhere and make this and make the text come out. The reason why I'm saying not everybody do this, while it is design, you remember that even in UI, you're not designing for yourself the same way you're not designing for people. You want them to be able to understand. Even though that I came close and I looked at that drumstick, I would not have assumed that that's a drum. So that's it for that. Then this is the remnant of the Lord. I don't know the style or the thing you used for that font, but it's not readable at all. While the format is nice, I think you would have just used, is it sharp? There's something they call it in Photoshop. I've forgotten. I know it's Photoshop for now. But then aside that, if you can work on your text, with time, this is okay. Let's see the next one.
So this is business card.
Okay, no business card, no, nothing to see. It's nice, it's good to go. Logo, good to go. Next one. So for logo, the only thing is there's no space between this Pollard Engineering and Services, right? So
Okay, yes.
so just work on that. Go. Okay, no, this is nice. Just go. I know
the
we
end
are
one.
okay. That's the end. All right. So overall, this is if I'm to grade Michael, right? So we can grade this I would not want to give you something that will make your head big now. We can grade it a 70, which is a fast mark, but you can still do better. You can still add more stuff to it.
Thank you so much, man. Thank you.
Okay, show us your UI. This is just one of two.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. Let me. Why can't I see? Sorry, I'm confused.
Okay, we have one person join the class. Great. Okay, Blessing Farombi, just take note that you're the next person.
Yes, sir. So, please.
Michael. Hello, Mr. Michael.
Oh, just hold on. When it's your turn, you can talk. Blessing, next person, Cynthia Onyekwe. I'll just drop it on the group chat here. Oh, so that I don't distract this class. I don't want to distract whoever that is displaying.
Okay. Can I go ahead, Mr. Michael?
Yes, please. Yes, please.
Okay. So yeah, this is the first task we had with during the product design class where we drew shapes, we imported a picture, we did the USA logo, and we drew an art. So these are the shapes that were done. Then we moved to customer journey map. Oh, so the ones by the side, by the left side, these ones were for inspiration. This was what our instructors showed us. Then this is my own work. Then moving on to okay, I think it was user persona before competitive analysis. So this is the user persona I created, Cynthia Kingston, then an empathy map. So then the competitive analysis is also here, where I took Uber, Bolt, Lyft, Move It, and the Johnny Pal, the last brand, which is Johnny Pal, is the project I'm actually working on. I had not created the logo as at when I designed this. So for the wireframe, which we were taught yesterday, this is it. And yes, this is the logo I created for the Johnny Pal. And this is the wireframe. And this is the wireframe that was created yesterday in class. Then for the gradients today also, this is it. And that's all I have for my UI UX map.
Oh, okay. So, Michael, do you want to go first? All right, let me just go first, right? The fact that you've completed the work, well done. So, before we started talking about text and all of those things, so you notice that some of the designs we did from your user persona and all of that, some of the texts were not legible. Some of the text, the line heights, some of the line heights did not, like this bio now, the line height is not enough. So you now need to take time to go back to readjust most of those things to be more readable. And you can now use your layout grids to ensure that you align this stuff. Then as for your button, you now know the size on how to the size to create buttons, the height. So if you have any button that the height is less than 40, you need to go and work on it.
Okay. Okay.
All right. Are we done with that, Buma?
Yeah, that's basically what they've done.
Oh, okay. All right, that's good. So just take the feedbacks and we work on your design. Just work on the part that needs to be worked on. All right. Good work, Daniel. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Thank you.
No, I can
Yeah, you can
stop sharing, sir.
Yeah, you can stop sharing.
Thank you, sir.
Blessing Faron B. You're next. You were saying something the other time.
Yeah, I wanted to say my system, Zoom is not really functioning on my system. So I've been using my phone to connect to the classes since we started. So I don't know if I might not be able to share my UI UX works on it. Then for my designs, I have them as PDF instead. So I don't know if I can still share that. I have them as PDF instead.
Okay, as PDF. Okay. Can you share your screen? That's the question. Huh?
Yes, I can share it on my phone. It's my phone.
I don't really like to do that, but let me see how it looks at first. If it doesn't look well, we won't have to use. Oh, okay, thank God. I think I can now connect with my system. All right, so let's see what you have first. Sharing through your phone. If it works, we would know. Okay, let me make you close, please. All right, you can share your screen. Hello, we're waiting for you. Blessing. Can anyone hear me? I'm not hearing anything from Blessing.
Yeah, we can actually hear you.
We can hear you.
So Blessing, what's going on now?
I said I'm on it. I'm on it. It's displaying already. Can you see it?
Yeah.
I don't know if it's clear enough. But
Okay, go back. Yeah, I can see it. All right.
okay,
Yeah, you can speak. Continue. Just present.
so yeah, this is the first design we did, and this using Canva app. Canva to design this birthday flyer, and the second one using Canva still. I don't know if it's clear enough because it's looking like it's kind of blur over here. The baker's vacancy flyer. So I did that of the bakers and I used Canva for it. And yeah. And the third one, we had the Woman Crush Wednesday using Canva as well for this design. And the birthday flyer, I used Photoshop for this. Yes, Photoshop for this design. And this Christmas sale offer, I used Photoshop to design this as well. Then about the flyer, using Photoshop for this. And this is the business card, front part of the business card. The white background above and beneath is not supposed to show, but because it's in the PDF version, that's why it's like that. Then this is the back of the business card. This is the Instagram post that we did, and I used Photoshop for this one. So then this is a mock-up for the business card to show the way the business card will look like. So that's it. And this is the last one I did, and that was the charity flyer that we asked to do, and I did for fundraiser events for children that needs underprivileged children that needs access to education. So that's the flyer and that thing. That's all from my end.
Michael, should I go first? Hello? Hello, Michael, are you
Yeah,
here?
yeah. I'm here. Sorry, I just
Okay.
joined with my system. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, I just joined with my system, so I was trying to rename. All right. Okay, you can go first because if you want to hear my feedback, I don't know,
That's why I
but
want to
please
go first.
please you go first. Thank you.
All right, blessing. So it's my tradition. I'll start by saying well done for the effort, right? I know that it's not easy to actually start something. First, let me ask, is this your first time doing graphic design? Hello?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So because it's your first time, like it's a good job. But at some point, even though that you were saying I did this with Photoshop, I did this with Photoshop, I did it with Photoshop, I was just thinking all of the designs are Canva templates because there's a field
Exactly.
Canva template used to give, and that was how I was looking at all the design. But when you started saying this is now the first feedback I would give about this is when we talk about design, right? I am a preacher of design, minimalistic design. Your design should be simple.
but it should be catchy. Now, for me, I don't see the need for all of these zigzag line. Even if you would have used them, you would have reduced the opacity. Then this, you can see that your text is, there's a way you can just do this. This can just be picture and text, and it will come out very well. So I think you should go back to one thing I tell people is, once you do your first design, right? You see people do how what's that thing they do it, and now you see that challenge. I like doing that challenge. Day one of learning design and your design, if you use day 5, now you're in day, this is week 6 or week 7. In week 6, you can go, no, week 5,
five
right?
actually.
Week 5,
Yes,
you can
week
still go
5.
back to your previous design and work on it. You can use all of those your designs, right? You think of new ones, right? New ones are there, but go back, redesign it. The same concept you had in your head when you started the design, still use that concept. You would see that because of the knowledge you've had over time, you get to see improvements. You can still redo this design for me and would see it. You see this birthday and this thing, this is not I've forgotten what they call it. All of these elements are not properly done. But it's your first design, so I'll give you a kudos. There's some people that will not do something like this. But try to go back, use the same concept and redesign it. So let's move to the next one, please. So for the next one, right? I like it. My only issue is the color. The color is dull. So in design, you would have just used a white background with some form of depth on Canva to do this. This design is good, but this brown and this brown is giving it a very dull vibe. So I think you can work on this one. Let's go to the next one. All right, so this for me is good. This is nice, but I don't know the kind of font you used, or you had to use outline on your font. It's the outline for me that is giving it what I don't get. But you would have used sharp colors, sharp orange color for this. This WCW is actually nice, but when you go to the Woman Culture Wednesday and this, and so, and I can see alignment issue. This woman should be there. You can see that your left and your right, they're not equal. If there's anything they've thought they would start doing the graphic design is alignment. And I feel like you should pay more attention to those elements that you know that people can easily notice. Alignment issue one, so we can go back to redo this or rework on this. Next, please.
Mm-mm.
All right. Well, Michael, I think you should take over, please.
All right, thank you, Mama. All right, so like she had rightly said, your work so far has been it's okay. I'm not gonna lie. So you already mentioned that this is even your first time self having to, design. Actually, for that first design, actually, because of course, over time you expected to, to improve. Sorry, I need to switch off my other device. It's still connected. I'm getting the feedback. All right, yeah, sorry about that. So, but for this particular design, I being very honest, I think you did not do so much work with the design. It feels like more like a lazy man's work. Something you just wake up and you just open your app and you just drop happy birthday, red, a lady in front, and that love shape, that element there, and that's it. I feel like this could be better. I don't know the idea behind the white stuff I'm seeing on the Y and around the HDA. I don't know the idea around it, but it's not. I don't know the idea. So whatever it is, I'm not so sure that it was passing the message we're trying to, get across. In all, the design just looks very, very basic. As much as we're saying minimalistic design,
right? There is a way your design can look very simple and also very attractive, right? Anybody that gets to see the design, get to love the design. That as simple as it is, it's also very nice and also, passing a message, a very beautiful message. Yeah, so this is just a bit basic. So you might want to rework on the design completely. I don't know, maybe even the font. Happy birthday, Rama. Like, why don't you use a very interesting font? I don't know, maybe because of design, that's why this font is looking like this. So, anyway, so the font could actually be perfect. Because of the way it is with the design, it just makes everything looks, too basic for a happy birthday design. I don't think you would want to, you yourself, you would want to receive a happy birthday design just looking like this. You would want to see something very, very catchy. Not all around there, but something very, very captivating. So that is my feedback on this. This the next design. Okay. I don't know maybe because you're sharing from your phone, it looks a bit blurry. But I want to take it that from your phone. But if it's not your phone, that this design looks like this, please and please, you will need to work on your design. Yes, because it's a bit blurry. But let's just take it like it's the picture. It's your phone. So almost like the other one too. I don't know. There is no alignment. I don't know where to start from. I think I was in class when your instructor spoke about, hierarchy. Yeah. So there is no sort of hierarchy in this design. I don't know. I'm looking at sales up to 50% off. I'm looking at special offers, special offer Christmas. Normally whenever I read something, if it's in the text, you start from the left to the right, left, right. You get. If you're looking at something, you won't start from below, you start from up, right? So looking at this designer, okay, I'm looking at the picture, as this special offer Christmas. I'm seeing still for, like, I don't know, it's just here and there. There is no, like, you're not really, it's not well constructed, I would say. Like, you might want to, go back and reconstruct the design, place the pictures where they're supposed to be placed. Also your text, you need to place them right, and make them align, right? So that for everyone that has to look at your design, they can easily understand it just by the first glance. Not the one that I would have to look at design and have to think and think and think and really wonder um, what exactly the information is on this design. So I hope you understand the feedback I'm giving. Oh. So Iboma, if you need to leave, you can leave, right? Please.
Oh, yeah, Michael, no problem. Yeah.
Yeah. Don't worry, I'll speak to you later. Sorry. I hope you guys know that your instructor is not feeling so great. So you guys can still reach out to her to check on her later in the day. All right, so that's not about the design, not so much feedback. Just take this very little thing I've said. You don't have to do too much, and also maybe the color. No, just the arrangement for now. Yeah, because I feel like if it was properly arranged, you would have a better view of your work. All right, next design, please. Okay, same feedback like I've said before. Your design, okay. My name is Blessing. I'm trying to understand what design is this exactly?
What kind as well? I don't
Blessing,
get.
are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Like, yes, yeah, what design? What type of design is this? Like, what exactly is this? Just like how we have what do you call it here? Like, what exactly is this design?
This is
What is
about
it
me,
for?
and it's about me design
Oh, yeah,
flyer,
about me that you guys
and I
you guys worked up. Oh, okay. All right. Okay, so I understand that it's about me design, so it doesn't have to have so much design around, but like I said, it looks very, very, basic, right? And you're a graphic designer, so you want to really show that yes, you are a graphic designer. Okay, you're not showing yet a graphic designer until when you're done with the program. But yes, you're learning graphic design, so you want to show that yes, it's a designer that actually works on design, not a regular person that just open Canva and decide to just put one or two things together. As a graphic designer, you want to show that yes, this is coming from a pro. from a professional. So if you're working on design like this, like maybe when you worked on the design, you're still learning. So I believe that if you go back to your work, there's a way you can, position this and have a better design, right? So just for you all to know, this is just a feedback section. You guys can always go back to your work and we work on it and share something different at the end of the day, right? So just go back to the design and do something better. And moreover, like I've always been saying, you can always leverage on Pinterest, leverage on all those sites where we have designs where graphic designers do go to pick ideas, pick samples. So if you search for about designs, I think so. If you search for designs like that, you'll see designs that are very captivating and you might want to replicate them, or you just want to just do something similar, or maybe something unique, a bit similar to what they have, if you don't want to do exactly what you're saying on this from those sites. So just work on this and the next time I'll see your portfolio, I hope to see a better design. I think that this is the last one, right? Or do we
No.
have another one? Okay. Just move. I think I'm spending too much time with your work. I think you should move. Like you can go to the next design. Hello, Blessing. I thought you said this is not the last one. Hello. Okay. Um, Blessing, if you can't hear me, can anyone hear me? Let me even confirm. Maybe it's from my end.
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, Blessing, I think you're still on the call. What's going on? Is it your network? Okay, she just left now. All right, let's just move to the next person. Let's not waste our time. Who is the next? I sent the message on the chat. I'm also gonna update that list. Cynthia Onyekwe. I think I already made you a co-host.
Hello, Mr. Michael. So you send a chart on a list on the chart.
I didn't get that.
You say you send a list is it on our WhatsApp?
I said, yeah, I just sent a list for 6 persons, yeah. So sorry. So I would update it. So but the persons that are there now, they should know that they're the ones coming up next. So Cynthia, are you on the call? I know I saw you on the call. So please share your screen. I think I already made you co-host. Hello, Cynthia. Cynthia, I can see you on the call. I don't know why you're not responding. Please, if I get past your design, that's it. Oh. What happened? Why this sudden drop? 14. I was in 28 just now. What happened just now? Did the network just go really bad and everybody dropped off?
I don't know, maybe there's network issue, Mr. Michael. I don't know, because the number just dropped drastically.
Honestly, it just dropped.
Yeah,
few
I had to log in again now. I couldn't connect.
What network are you guys using?
I was using MTN
Like
before. Now I had to switch to Airtel now.
Airtel, yeah, because I'm using Airtel and my network is very fine. So maybe it's actually an
Yeah, I just switched
MTN
to
issue.
Airtel now.
Oh, okay. See what I believe is say people should use Airtel. People don't. Airtel is a good network. At least for me, it works very fine. Please, I hope to see others join. Because the way the number just dropped, I was scared that it was a rapture as the angel blew the trumpet. Thank God. That's not the case. All right, Cynthia, back to you. Cynthia.
Hello, sir. We can't see your
Okay.
screen. Maybe you can clear your screen so we can see.
She's not even responding. I don't know. I don't want to get past you, Cynthia, honestly. Okay. I'm not going to waste time, I beg. So please, the next person is going back to the list. Ashaye Olufumilola, please pardon me if I didn't pronounce your name correctly. Fumilola, you just sent me a message. Oh, okay. All right, please. Sorry, just one very quick one. Those that shared their portfolio with me, please, just to confirm, do you have your okay, that's fine. Okay, no problem. That's fine. All right. I need to so right now I just got a message. I need to forward the portfolios that I was asking for, like now. So I will be sharing what I have so far. So I think I already got from 4 persons or so. So I'll be sharing those designs, and I didn't get to review the portfolio. I want to believe that the portfolio is nice, or because I'm supposed to actually review before sharing it. Please just give me a few seconds, maybe like a minute, please, guys. Apologies for holding you guys a bit. Let me just quickly share this.
Hello? 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 Hello, Mr. Michael. Can you hear me?
The class still on.
Hi everyone, what's happening? I don't know, like Zoom keeps sending me out.
You're not the only one. It has been sending me out, throwing me out every minute.
I think something is wrong.
I think
Mr. Michael, I think
network.
something
Hello.
is wrong. Zoom, it keeps sending us out.
It's network, I think.
Not only you two, it sent me out too. It just sent me out just now. I had to try to join back. Wow.
Mr. Michael, we are still here.
So, yes, we have many just now. Yeah, this is serious. Oh, what do we do? Should we not have this session? Should we have this session physically tomorrow?
I'm also thinking
Yes, please.
it's not better we have
Yes.
it in class because so many people are having network issue.
Like this, like the third time now, and I've switched to all the network I have.
That's
Maybe
even with
Yeah,
that.
maybe
I was
we
also pushed out. I was also pushed out just now.
network.
Wow.
I think people are joining back. We are 20 now.
Sorry, Esther Agada and Esther, are you here? I didn't get your portfolio. I'm sharing them already. I'm sending them right now. Oh, by the way, Seth. Oh my goodness. I just remembered. Nobody's interested. Okay. I don't exactly know what TikTokers do, but who has an idea and who is interested in that as well? Nobody actually responded to that. Nobody sent me a message regarding that.
Do you mean
No, we
pertaining
just
to
finished our
TikTokers?
class. We just finished
Sorry?
class.
What did you say?
You know, we just finished class now. We've not had time